I shouldn't want you, I shouldn't need you, but I'm afraid that's not up to me. Cause when I hear you sing through my speakers, it's like my mind takes a hold of me. I've tried shutting you off for some time now, but I'm still hearing your voice in my head. Oh, I wish I was more than your fan now, and that your voice came from here in my bed. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, singing to me. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, making me bleed. You're in my
Hello everyone and welcome back to Spike Nations. My name is Pavlos, I am your host for today, and today I am joined by a very special person. It is Hazza, of course. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic, all the more for hearing your voice, of course, and being joined by you on the desk for this final set of games. Look, we're into the last play day of the group stage. It's gone past in a flash, and we still have some scores to be settled.
That is right, that is right. We are in the last day, which means it is in total the 5th day of the international stage, which means there's only one set of matches left to determine what is going to be happening in this whole endeavor. But before we get things started, we've got to thank our sponsors, Alienware, of course, and is it Intel? Intel, thank you. Yes, Alienware and Intel. I nearly got that wrong. Oof. But yeah, of course, if you stuck around for all these days, it is going. Bravo! It's been a good set of days. Right now, on to the 14th of November. We are currently into the international stage, which means after this, we will have to wait until December to witness the action over at Gamergy, a LAN phase in Spain for the semi-finals and finals. And today is all about determining who is going to be qualifying to those semis. And that's exactly what we are looking forward to the most.
Yeah, that we are, right? And we can keep anticipating it until it finally arrives, because it's been a long string of games and game days, like you said. Best of ones, round robin is relentless for those kinds of fixtures. We've already determined our top 3 teams. We're just looking towards that bottom end. It was Germany versus Spain last night. One of those teams would be eliminated. Spain to continue onwards, and that potential of a return to Gamergy in Madrid for them to get their hands on the trophy. But still, one more challenger in their way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we know that the Spanish crowd can get quite rowdy, so we're really looking forward to that one, to see how that one's going to go. And especially considering that Spain still has a chance after the abysmal results we've seen from them so far. They still have a chance, and I'm sure everybody rooting, even if they're not Spanish, will want that team to head into that LAN phase to see a local crowd reach out, well, call out their names and cheer for them as much as humanly possible, even though I believe they'll be playing there anyway in form of a show match. Yeah. So Germany will be happy that they'll end up in Spain somehow as well. But let's have a look at what it takes for all of these teams to be making it. Of course, as we said, it's up to Spain and Italy to see if they can grab that 4th spot. But there's a little bit more detail that we need to pay attention in regards to seeding with the top 3.
Yeah, 5 play days consumed, or will be by the end of this evening, and still 5 teams that are in with a shot. You look at all of the different scenarios here. For UK to finish first, they must win their game and then rely on results elsewhere, namely Germany beating France for that to be possible. Otherwise, a French victory there will all but seal them in 3rd and France in 2nd. With Turkey finishing first, of course, you then look at the head-to-heads between those specific teams. Turkey beat France yesterday, and France beat the UK in playday number 2, I believe it was. So everything is shaped up in that regard. The one thing that we're really looking at, and that makes the most amount of difference when we consider what teams we actually have in the LAN and the live stage, is the match between Italy and Spain later on. Simply put, whoever takes it in 13 is the one that will be progressing.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be calling upon all these scenarios throughout the day, right? Whether UK get a chance of getting that first spot after having 1 win and 2 losses at the start of this week. Yeah, that's right. So it's going to be an interesting endeavor to see if they can actually grab that first seed. But after all, okay, they've got to win, but Germany also has to win against France, and we haven't seen Germany do all that well. So still many possibilities that could partake here. So which one in particular are you most looking forward to here, Hazza? Obviously, as we said, we've got 3 matches the line. Which one are you most keen to get in on straight away?
I think it goes without saying that we've got to be looking towards that Spain versus Italy matchup to close out the day, put a bookend on the group stage, and give us our final 4 contestants for the live stage. But I think at the same time, you know, this first game, UK versus Turkey, could be a decent point to drop the pin down, see where both of these teams are really at. Turkey looked good against France yesterday, but it was a slightly altered lineup, and we didn't have them hitting the same kind of form that they did. Whereas UK, I see them in a building block process, right? They've also gone through a few different things behind the scenes themselves to get into this one, to be fully prepared for it, and to construct more upon the foundations that they've already set.
Precisely. It feels that Team UK are on an upwards turn, an upwards trajectory, if you will. Turkey has been untouchable thus far, so seeing if UK are at a level where they can challenge Turkey in this way would be awesome. But of course, these are the players that Team UK have got representing their country. A lot of famous names. If you look back, if you're at all of the VCT scene or have been around for a while, you know a lot of these names. Solkar Slink, definitely one of the big ones, but then you look at the Tier 2 scene as well. Lime and your boy Lewis ring a bell. But of course, you've got to have game changer legends such as Scarlet and Puffy. So there's still a long way to. There's still a lot of talent there as well. For the Turkish side, this scene doesn't stop giving, right? Wherever you are, whatever level you're at, Turkey is coming in with a lot of firepower, and you better be certain that any single one of these can get a 1v5 face at some point. I feel like we've gotten close to that situation many times already this tournament.
There is so much strength through individuals in this Turkish team, but at the same time, it feels like a cheap narrative to paint about them with how organized they've looked at times, and as well, that family feeling, which each and every one of the people we've had on to interview post-match have really spoken about. One of the other big things, and something that you spoke of there, is, exceptional game changer players. I think Turkey has that in number, and the fact that, Smurfette and Schnell are here, and, we've got however many more, such as the BBL Queens players that have gone off to Sao Paulo, for example, that aren't even included, speaks at great length about what kind of quality there is on offer. And yeah, seeing them in the double duelist role and then absolutely obliterating France yesterday was really a sight to behold.
It really was, and that's what exactly you want to see, right? Anybody rooting for game changer players, game changer teams, seeing them able to compete in a position where you're playing up against other, challenger league players, VCT players. It just hits the spot, and I'm really glad we get to see all that type of action. But I do believe we can just jump into the maps right away, right? We've seen only a very small chunk of them so far. The main favorites have been Lotus, Split, a bit of Haven and Bind splattered around.
New.
I don't know if we'll see something new. No, it's Haven. We saw, I think it's one of the ones we've seen the least, but still quite a favorite.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, Pavlos, but now this is the third time that it's cropped up, and I'm going to need to run the numbers, but in my mind, that is now tied with Lotus as being the most played map that we've seen at this point in time. Lotus maybe a little bit more, and I'll have a look at the break.
Split is close.
And we can go there. Yeah, Split we've seen a couple of times, France
Bind
namely playing that. Bind in the mix, Ascent. A few that we haven't though, right? Sunset, Breeze, yet to make an appearance so far on the stream.
I wonder when we'll see them. Hopefully we'll see them today, right? Otherwise we'll have to be looking forward to the best of threes in at the LAN stage.
Yeah, that's exactly the point that I was going to go on to next, right? The best of ones are cool and all, but heading towards the best of threes, that's when these teams will get tested in terms of their depth, and we can also talk about depth in terms of players and who exactly is going to get picked up by both of these teams. For Team UK, it looks to be a similar roster to what we had yesterday, but instead, Scarlet is going to be coming in for Lime, so I'm expecting, with Haven also being the same map, it's going to be Scarlet on the Jet, and then we get Puffy back on the Cypher again.
That is true. And talking about the Turkish side, it is looking a little bit different. Of course, Schnell and Smurfette are still in the roster, but then I believe we have Izzy instead of Mudge. So that's going to be an interesting one as Ipot and Glove stay in the roster like they were last time around. So a minor change when it comes to the Turkish lineup, but a welcome one. We'll see what they're able to do. Mudge, after all, did top frag yesterday, so I don't know, are they trying to nerf themselves? Even though Izzy has been insane the whole entire journey thus far in Spike Nation. But without any further ado, enough rambling from us, it's time to get this show on the road with the game. And it's the casters, Moon and Ryan, to take you away.
Yeah. All right. Ryan, it seems like we cannot hear you still. You're still muted.
For some reason, me being tabbed out of Discord when I unmute doesn't unmute, so that's fun. But yeah, nice, interesting map for Team UK to be on. Third time in a row. Undefeated so far. And we heard from Lewis yesterday that actually Team UK has started to take this a little bit more seriously now. What better way to really win out the group stages by beating that undefeated team of Turkey?
Yeah, exactly. If we take a look at Team UK, especially yesterday, Ryan, they were stellar in the way they were approaching their game. You can clearly see that they got a better hang of how they should be dictating their games and so on. You could feel that there was an equilibrium. The communication was going on a better quality.
Okay.
But before we even hit that, let's take a look at the agents being picked in here, and Team UK specializing in Haven so far decide to opt in for a Phoenix on Soulcast, the first time we've seen it in Spike Nation.
I mean, I think this is probably Soulcast not really wanting to commit to the sky anymore, really, at this point. Lime's out of the roster for this one. Puffy's come in. They both played a Sentinel role anyway, so there's not too much of a change there when it comes to the role overlap. But yeah, I think Soulcast wanted to give something a little bit spicy to Team Turkey. Maybe they felt that they could be anti-stratted a little bit. So going aggressive, back to his roots of being that initial duelist player, Fish 1-2-3. Should be a nice combo with Scarlet, who was missing yesterday, but had a really solid performance against Team Spain earlier this week. For Turkey, I mean, they're just going to go for what's meta so far, and I guess it's going to be interesting to see Izzy back in this roster, playing on the duelist again on the Jet this time.
Definitely, and I'm led to believe in here that Turkey has that comfort in order to rotate their squad, let's say, in a more natural way. I mean, so far the combination that Team Turkey came up with the 5 players they presented on the 4 or 3 last games, was impressive. There's no point to be addressed, you know, even in terms of critiques. I think maybe some small gears that need to be a little bit oiled, but so far so good for Team Turkey as they're engaging this final game. And I think that the goal in here is to play for the pride of having a flawless cruise throughout this stage of the tournament. So,
yeah.
First game starting in here, Turkey, Team UK.
Oh, and UK wanted to just go straight for the default right down mid. They were the first death, instantly taken out a wallbang from a Sheriff. Managed to turn the tide into their favor, however. 3 players still alive on the defense. And you could say 2 for Turkey. But look at Glow. He's 5 HP. Trying to see if anybody else is going to try and push up around the map. Anybody clambering up from sewers. But no, UK are actually going to go lurking. And these 2 Turkish players are separated.
And with that, not so separated anymore. Looks like they're combining and perhaps trying to take control of Site C. They still do ignore that Link is behind them. No ability, not maybe the bot? No, it's stunned. There's no way. And okay, probably quickly checking the side. That's a plant, and well, UK got the clue. They got the Q as well, and they know exactly what's going on. And they're taking quick steps towards Site C.
Yeah, Link lurking his way back. 2 smokes are the only bit of utility that UK have to work with here. No flashes. And they're all going in separate directions. It's risky, but Link being able to go right for this flank down C long puts enough pressure on Teapot that he's not quite sure which direction to face in. Isolates those fights, and Team UK pick up the pistol on. I think at this point, it's their home ground, right? It's Team UK's best and strongest map, and they're happy to be here.
Yeah, they pushed so hard to play this map on multiple occasions, right? And there's a reason behind it. If we reel back to the last times Team UK played this map, I mean, completely different. They sort of seem to be natural on this map. They know exactly what needs to be happening. You can clearly see Link on the defender side, for example, taking so much freedom to roam outside of position. He just doesn't care. He does know that he has teammates who will be covering him from any potential dangerous angle.
I think they're going to try and do the same thing again. 3 players in mid again on this defense. Not pushing up as much this time, more just facing to see if Turkey on an or on an eco even are going to try and sneak up somewhere. Right now, Garage has been giving up quite a lot. Puffy decided to go more for like the A setups overall, which does give Turkey some freedom to try and take the space. But instantly, Team UK have 4 players surrounding Garage and happy to even go pushing to see if they can find any more stuff going on.
Yeah, Team UK have been very reactive, maybe a little bit overreactive. Commitment to 4 players in between side B and C. Leaving, well, not just, but leaving Puffy in here. I think there's just 1 tripwire set up right now to try and slow down the push. But again, what do you expect from Classic? Well, that wasn't a Classic. That was Glovey running away with Puffy's head. And that's an insured plant. Let us see if Turkey can cook something up from this.
Yeah, maybe Puffy feeling a bit safer from heaven, but when you've got 5 players looking in your direction, it doesn't matter what guns are going to be able to take it out. Soulcast picking up the Vandal in this anti-eco. at least brings it even, but it's still kind of a tricky post plan to break down here. Scarlet wanted to drop down on the back of the recon dart, which isn't cleared. It does get a pulse through, but it's actually Izzy that's able to get that first kill. And he's able to clamber up a couple more. And somehow Team UK, they win the pistol. They're in a good situation. And Turkey just deathball their way onto A.
I mean, you hate to watch these rounds, right? You see an absolutely clear approach from the defenders, and he full buy coming from them. Given the credits that they had, they were clearly organized, they took the right positions, but then again, you just cannot stop the Sheriff Demons in here. Headshots right and left. UK just didn't have any chance in here. The players from Team Turkey were extremely cold, extremely ruthless. And now it's more of a matter to see if Yaboy Lewis and the squad of Team UK is able to pick themselves up again and try to reverse the situation on Team Turkey. We've seen this scenario happening quite a lot as well. I think that we witnessed more thrifty rounds on the second round than, you know, a win from the well-equipped team.
We've seen it more than we should. Even though these are like pickup groups, you really don't want to be seeing it from any of these players. If it was on any of their respective teams, the coaches would be having words. And Pal, even the coach for Team UK, has had words with the squad when it comes to not throwing rounds. And I think that there was a small little gap, like Puffy sort of wide peeking a little bit too out in the open on Heaven. Caught out, you saw the camera as well, like her perspective. She was a bit like, oh, damn it, like I shouldn't have been caught out by that. But the main thing is that you can't give Team Turkey any little things to work with, because they can exploit the ever-living hell out of it, and they can pull rounds together like that. You can't give Izzy that in, because he will take it.
Yeah, valid point, extremely valid point. And, you know, experience has taught us throughout this current competition, throughout the Spike Nation of this year, is simple. Team Turkey has all what it takes to be considered a balanced and lethal team. I mean, tactic-wise, they know exactly what to do. For some reason, they have this ability to read, you know, the flow of the game. They sort of know when to go all in, when, you know, to play for the contact, when they try to maybe fake it towards a specific direction, where they should be splitting around the map as attackers. And so far, I didn't see any team being able to cope with the way Team Turkey has been playing. Combine that with their fragging ability. I mean, you look at the names, right? Izzy, iPod, Schnell, Glovey, Glove, Smurfette as well. You cannot just point your finger and say that, okay, we can clearly see that Izzy is that guy grabbing the kills for that team. No, each and every one of them has the possibility to just individually blow our minds with those 3Ks, 4Ks. So, you know, you're asking me who the potential risky player on Team Turkey for Team UK, I'm gonna say all the 5 of them.
Especially this roster now with like Modge being out of it, and Team Turkey for the first time rolling with Izzy, Schnella, and Smurfette. That's all of those players play duelist, and they're playing, well, 2 of them have played supportive roles more than anything. Glow is the one that's hijailing all of this. Depart has probably been the shining star of the tournament. Maybe not as much of a household name as some of the other players, certainly when you look on Team UK's side, but still probably being the most consistent MVP outside of Lux 9, I'd say. So technical pause is over, starting to get going again. UK kind of in a position where they kicking themselves maybe with how that round ended up, down to an eco, but they themselves have also been able to do quite some damage with the lower weaponry in previous games.
Yeah, and well, do not lower your expectations too much. Again, we've seen this nightmare happening time and time again, right? Sheriffs ruling the land, but will it happen again on Haven? I do believe that the Shroud on C-Long might be what's keeping us from seeing how this round will unfold. But again, looking at the minimap, I mean, Team UK is all over the place, right? I think the defenders are moving a little bit too much, and they're playing this sort of gamble.
Well, they've got so much information with the camera on A that they can't afford to have 4 people stack on C. It's also like with the Phoenix, they're clearly playing more for mid because it's just faster rotations. Like what we're going to see from Team UK is, oh, they're going A, we're going to run onto site and fight them as they're trying to plan. They're going to be that kind of aggressive nature. Case in point, right now, the problem is that all of these fights have been isolated, and the UK are actually pulling out some amazing shots with the Sheriff. It might not be enough to clinch the round, but it's enough of an answer to show that UK mechanically can scare Turkey just as much as Turkey can scare the UK.
Exactly, and although running away with the win, Team Turkey had to pay quite the high bill. 3 players dead on the ground. That's gonna be some sort of a kick that will be felt in the economy of Team Turkey. I mean, it was... Well, I would even say it was a bonus. I mean, it's kind of awkward. We're playing the 4th round and we've got a full buy from both sides.
Yeah.
That leads to a little bit of confusion. But then again, we still didn't get to see Team UK shine as it did on their last game. And I'm led to believe that with all these abilities, all these buys, we might be seeing UK shaking things up a little bit. Committing this time with 3 players on side C, and now Cellcast deciding that it's time to pick on B. And
Yeah,
Cellcast
is just moving around. Yeah, Scarlet has actually got super aggressive. You're right. I didn't even notice her on the minimap. This is an angle that should get cleared by Glow with the Eldron, with a recon, or at least peeking it. And Scarlet doesn't have the support just yet of your boy Lewis. Does a good amount of damage in the end to Schnell, but it's not enough. So now it's an awkward situation where there's a run it back available for Skullcast. He's heading in. Your boy Lewis is now trying to dodge this Hunter's Fury, gets tagged, and now this damage is just being ran in. One little kill onto Scarlet opens up the entirety of the round and the site for Turkey, and they pretty much roll on through.
Yep. Is he getting a little bit too greedy, I think, in this one? And, well, that's around a 3rd one for Turkey. I mean, I looked at the camera earlier, and I was thinking to myself, okay, yes, extremely valid in here. You can literally see what's going on around site A. You don't need to be physically there, but as you can clearly see, Team UK has a hard time rotating to sites, right? Well, we've seen that on the 1st round, of the pistol round. We've seen that in the previous round, and we've seen it on this round, right? So if you're relying on 2 players like Soulcast in here and Scarlet, who are moving around a lot, who are taking, risky decisions, where they could be, of course, giving an advantage to the opponents, well, that might hurt them just as much as your boy Lewis got hurt with in this encounter. As Puffy says goodbye to us, as we will meet this player on the next round.
I think all 2 players that have died so far for UK have pushed up, and look at Soulcast on A, doing the same sort of thing, maybe going a bit too trickster for some of these plays. And it means that Team UK aren't really taking fights with these sheriffs together. It's relying a lot on individual aim, and if you're trying to do that against the Turkish side, well, good luck. Link's able to do some damage. Soulcast wasn't quite expecting Smurfette to be on that off angle towards Dragon. And, well, Link, we've seen him have some pretty insane clutches over his career in VCT. Not going to be happening this time, however. 4-1 for Turkey, and the UK really need to get this next full buy going. Otherwise, I think Pal's going to be calling a fairly early timeout.
Yeah, and I think that at this point they would need the timeout, right? They need to discuss a lot of things. And the main reason being that I'm not seeing Team Turkey playing anything extraordinary outside of the box when it comes to the calls and the execution. They're actually playing, fairly in a fairly simple way.
Yeah, they're just defaulting. Like, now it's looking like they're going to be doing something a little bit more aggressive and pacey. They do have the Blade Storm that's used, and it actually takes out Scarlet, who'd bought up the Operator in this case. The Execute has gone in for the most part. The Omen and the Jet are going to be in. I was just taken aback at, like, Glow set up the Execute with a Recon Dart, and now he's all the way back in his spawn. Hunter's Fury is going to try and get a tag onto the player that gets the spike, but these ultimates from the Team UK have not really found an impact, and they're a player down in this retake.
Yep, and we're wondering how they will be negotiating this situation. The defuse will be extremely important for Team UK, as Puffy to lose his life again at the hands of Glow this time around, left to struggle with 3 versus 5. It's Soulcat that goes out, and Lewis with the revenge, Link on the ground. But numbers in here just make the difference as Team Turkey disposes of the players from Team UK and cements the 5th round to their name. 5-1, and, well, the winds of optimism are not blowing in the way of the ship of Team Turkey, that's for certain.
Yeah, thematically...
UK. Did I say Turkey?
Yeah. I don't think it matters. It's all blended into one at this point. I mean, it's just that the sites are running red with Turkey right now, and in all honesty, I think Team UK need to thematically change stuff up. They're being way too individual, pushing on their own. Scala trying to pick up the orb to get that Blade Storm online, but it's been keenly watched now by multiple players that are trying to rat her out in this position. She survives, but down to 50 HP. And Turkey are actually trying to scale up on this base pretty quickly. Soulcast not expecting EPOT to be that close. The Paranoia even connects onto Scala, which makes this even more of a pain in the backside for UK to deal with. And Turkey just feel like they're taking their time with this execute.
Yep, and Scarlet might be the way out. Smurfette just make it look so easy. With this frag as Schnell doubles down on Lincoln here. And again, 2 players left from Team UK. This time around, Puffy staying alive. Usually we'd see Puffy leave us early on in the round. Well, last survivor with a bucket trying to deal some damage, but far from being able to. Glove will run away with this kill. And I mean, look, you take a look at the bigger picture, you see how the game has been unfolding so far, and you know, there's only one conclusion to be taken in here. Turkey are making it look extremely easy, something that I said earlier. We're not seeing that much of resistance from UK. One would point the blame at, okay, they weren't able to grab those full buys and so on, but out of the 3 full buys coming from Team UK, we haven't seen that huge of an impact. Actually, in terms of, you know, in terms of kill number, UK was the most successful on the 3rd round, leaving 2 players alive from Team Turkey.
That's pretty much as they managed. Scala picked up the operator last round, died on C-Long, picked it up again here for the 2nd time. Hopefully doesn't die down C-Long, but it is being watched. Wins out the duel. The trade is going to be at least attempted from EPOT. Even a Paranoia forced out. Puffy's been able to take this. The trades have actually come in pretty nicely for Turkey to open up that C site. It's a 3 versus 3 now. Neurotheft has at least given some information over for Puffy. And Soulcast, again, the aggression hasn't necessarily been working out the best for him in some cases. But here, though, he's flanked all the way around. Schnell in a 1 versus 2. Pincered from 2 sides. Knows that there's one down C-Long. The Recon knows where the Silver is now. Trying to isolate this duel as much as possible. But Lewis is just taking his time with it as much as he possibly can. Not overextending. And finally, Team UK could get stuff on the board. But it was also kind of touch and go a little bit in the middle.
Yeah, and I think that the aggressivity of Team UK in here, taking those risks, finally paid off, right? And I want to believe as well that Team Turkey kind of mishandled Garage. I get the feeling that they got a little bit overconfident, so nothing much Smurfette could have done, right? You're just trying to push C, and that's an operator to your face. Scarlet could have reduced the damage inflicted on the economy of Team UK by just fully rotating back to site, and again, Schnell did what she could do, I suppose, at the end of the round. It's really not easy to be playing from 2 angles that would, you know, expose you to your opponents. But then again, I think that if Team UK keeps on pressuring Garage as they did right now, if they keep on playing it in a less confrontative way and rely a little bit more on their abilities to debunk the position of their opponents, they would be doing as much better, and that's Link disposing of Izzy.
Oh, Puffy's taking a good chunk of damage, but the kill trip works out nicely. Guardian able to pick up 1, so now the numbers advantage going in the way of Team UK. Your boy Lewis wanted to be a little bit more forward-facing. Does take out Smurfette, fully stunned by the Rolling Thunder, still able to get a 2nd. And now we're starting to see Team UK not only get these rounds on board, but some big ultimates used from Team Turkey that have amounted to nothing.
Yeah, the ultimate coming from Schnell was, you know, with 2 players alive, I don't think we can bring that much of an impact. Some players, some in-game leaders would have probably vouched for keeping it for another round, especially if you take a look at the number, right? At the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, the pace of like what Turkey's been playing at, though, just sending some of these ultimates is never really a bad shout, it feels at this point.
I mean, between the Paranoias and, you know, the cages that have been deployed on C-Long, there's not much they could have done, realistically speaking, and Scarlet looking dangerous in here. I think her position has been exposed. Good Paranoia, the whiff, and Soulcast, the hero of the day, saving his teammate from the Crusher fight pot.
Yeah, there's a bit more support coming in for Scarlet. It was Puffy over on the C site. Now it's Soulcast playing in on site. 3 players on this A site defense for the UK, waiting for Turkey to try and execute again. Smurfette is 1 orb away from having a lockdown. No real chance or opportunity to get it online right this second. But planting that spike, delaying with the lockdown, might make a retake really difficult for Team UK. So they are trying to be as proactive as possible. They've got good information. They still have C-Long control.
Yes, exactly. And now that's site A, which gets unlocked instantly. A good flash from Soulcast, clinching a quad
Nice.
for himself in a 4th round for the UK. You know, it's right. The drone was heading to garage. It was tagged. They knew exactly where it was. And Team UK started moving towards site C. Or at least toward mid. But those steps, at the worst possible time, just cancelled everything. And Team UK knew that stuff was going to happen on A.
Yeah, it does feel like there are some instances where the UK have been a little bit jittery with how fast they're rotating over, but they had the right people in the right places there. I think Link, sort of a silent hero there, just taking that C long control, making it so UK have some information to work with at this point. Now UK have managed to pull back what has been a very one-sided map up until these last couple of rounds. Not only Turkey were winning these runs, they were winning them dominantly. Link, pretty much a consistent shout for an MVP on this map for Team UK. Caught with his trousers down in garage this time, unfortunately. Now sort of Puffy's left on the site alone. Soulcast is trying to go in their support, and Lewis very deep, trying to hide in nest off the back of the smoke. Trying to do something cheeky to maybe at least get one.
Okay, and that's a lockdown
Oh, he gets
coming
pinged.
And Lewis
Recon
just
got
tried to,
him.
he just tried to take the opportunity to maybe grab a kill after the deployment of this ability, but no chance whatsoever. And of course, Team Turkey will give no opportunity for Team UK to bounce back in this round. An operator waiting his position, of course, discovered an Izzy. Capitalizing on that headshot will only leave Soulcast, popping that flash. Not enough to keep him alive or to give him a chance at fighting. The counter flash and that Smurf vet running away with it. 7 points for Turkey. Taking quite the statement so
Last
far.
round in the half.
Yeah, I feel like I put my foot in my mouth talking about how well UK were doing up until now. And then it's just one sort of bad mistake. Link being caught out by the Eldrun has this snowball effect where Lewis trying to play into garage. If the lockdown's placed there, he can maybe destroy it or catch people by surprise. At least it's all smiles in the UK camp. I mean, it seems that the vibe has been good. They've been taking it seriously, but they've also been having fun. Like we've already heard from like Link Soulcast. It's been a while since they've sort of played at the tier, well, any VCT anyway, really, for Link. They're making the most of this opportunity as much as they can.
Yep, and I'd probably pay to get the Cubs the moment Link was taken out from behind that box in garage. Must have been quite the moment for Team UK. But in any case, the moment they're looking for right now is a moment of victory. That would cement their position in the rankings. Team Turkey playing for pride in here again. Reminder that they won every and each game they took on so far. So, you know, coming out clean from this game, that would be quite a thing.
This setup for the Cypher, I called the Tilt Master 5000 because you have one trip that you need to break and then there's a second one to follow up. But it is not only just destroyed, but they just peek out and take out Puffy completely. Tilt Master not really getting that much this time, but we do see our third running back being farmed up by Soulcast. And yet again, not really able to get too much. Scarlet trying to push off the back of it, gets taken out from Smurf there. Now they need to get through this one way, get onto this site. It's a 3 versus 5. Turkey looking like they're going to be making 8 here. And even then, UK need to push back. They tried to be aggressive. They're met with aftershocks. There's no way in. Time is low. A flash in the face of Soulcast just separates him from everybody else on this team. 1 versus 5. There's just no time. He knows that there's 5 Turkish players waiting on the other side of the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, probably getting himself warmed up for next round. Soulcast trying to take a fight that he knows will... I mean, look at that shooting gallery.
He's padding the
Easy!
stats.
Oh, okay. Right away. And it was the last round as well. Sorry, missed that detail. And that's Team Turkey taking it to the second half on the score of 8-4. And Ryan, aren't you missing your boy Lewis on Breach so far? I think that was the missing piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't hate UK changing up something, especially just to try out. Like, you could just have Soulcast playing the Sky like he has been. And then put Lewis back on the breach, and it would have been fine. But maybe they felt that because they've shown this map 3 times at this point, they want to try something a bit different, maybe catch Turkey by surprise. But, I mean, Turkey, sort of macro-style, big picture stuff has been pretty much faultless. They've known how to adjust around the map. Glow and Izzy are having a great game. It's just really been Soulcast putting up the numbers for UK, but maybe the attack side could do a little bit more. Wishful thinking, maybe. But they've already won one pistol. They kind of need to win the second to keep in this, I think.
Yeah, and looking at how things are panning out, I mean, you're playing the attack, you've got Scarlet on Jet, you got Soulcast on Phoenix. I think that you have all the necessary tools in here to breach a site pretty much easily still. Breach as an agent has just too much to give, and, well, Team UK just got us used to it. Lewis, right? Quite the scenes that one might not be able to forget, and Easy holding this garage, knows that something is up. Spider sense is tingling, and oh boy, that Izzy.
Yeah, you could just be Izzy and just left click at the right time, just get the timings perfect.
I was like, just in case, what does this button do? And that's 2 quick headshots. Didn't even
Puffy,
need to.
Tried to get timing, maybe to see if anybody was going to be aggressive, then tries to move. That's when the smoke drops, and that's where Izzy picks up a third. Now Lewis has to try and demolish everybody at that point in order to bring this through, but no, Turkey get their 9th. And just as I thought, that like one of the only issues that I've had with Turkey, which comes as no surprise, they sometimes get a little bit too aggressive on defense. They push a little bit too far. So I saw Izzy maybe going out of double doors and figured, oh, this could be a chance for UK. But no, instead he backs out, hides in the smoke, and gets 2.
Yeah, and the decisions he took about his placement just were extremely fruitful. Combine that with his accuracy, that's a well-deserved quad, no questions asked in here. And in all fairness, Team UK couldn't have done anything to stop that from happening. I mean, you're losing 2 players from behind a shroud. How do you combat that? How do you keep that from happening, right? Quite unlucky for them. A start on the bad footing, I suppose. And Izzy peeking again. That's a tag, and I don't think he's gonna peek it again. With all the confidence that he had earlier, Simike will simply try to maybe, scratch a couple of hit points off the back of their opponents, and, well, you'd hate to be in this crossfire.
It's a good idea from Soulcast, but dealing with players in both A and C link, just a little bit too much to not get the timings to come together. I mean, Schnell's read this really nicely. He sees at least one and knows that there's a few more coming in. B-execute on these kind of guns will be good. Maybe they can sort of go through these players on the Turkish side. But Izzy's flanked all the way around. People are trying to adjust to him as much as possible, but he's too busy farming up the kills. That's another 3K for him. And now full buy coming in for UK. That is a lot of pressure on it to go well.
Yep, more pressure on Team UK, but let's look at things this way. I think that UK will keep on playing, this way of stalling, right? I think they're trying to have the same approach that Team Turkey had, freezing, waiting to see if anything comes up, if any defender would pick out of position, which is a trademark if we look at the way Team Turkey has played so far. But I think they kind of got hard countered with the patience and the discipline we're seeing from them. And it's just amazing how Izzy is able to make the right judgment at the right moments.
They're going. Well, Epot's sending it as much as he possibly can. They're on the lower buy. They're 6 rounds ahead. They might as well try something a little bit spicy. But unfortunately, UK were bolstered into the ground. Really dug their heels in. And this should be a straightforward execute. There's only 2 players alive from Turkey to know where one is because they just activated the trip. Yeah. They just leave Smurfette over on this site. Nice shot to get one, but nicely traded out by your boy Lewis. And well, Izzy, with the run of form that he's on, he has a Vandal. They have enough to full buy next. He has his ultimate too, so saving is fine. But with the kind of heater that he's on, it wouldn't surprise me if he just goes for it as well.
Yeah, and Izzy has a mission here, and it's to bleed the economy of Team UK as much as possible. The more weapons he will be taken away, the more comfort he will be giving for his teammates and to himself in the next rounds. And, well, he's making his presence known. Is he trying to assert dominance? But it's Lewis in here taking the upper duel, a triple for himself. Team Turkey back to the drawing board. They're 3 rounds away from closing this game.
There's definitely a universe where that play from Turkey, especially with the paranoia that was coming through, works out wonderfully on those 2 players that were holding on for dear life in A lobby there. But here, at least they're 1 orb away from having another run it back for Soulcast. The good thing about using that ultimate, just 6 ult orbs can farm these up like nobody's business. But also your boy Lewis having a Hunter's Fury, it's looking likely that a straight C execute's going to be coming out. But the Omen and the Breach is there ready to shut this down. Turkey, you've read this marvelously. Okay,
and now it's more of a matter of capitalizing on all the information they gathered and make an advantage. Oh my god, that's Soulcast running away with the head of iPod, and excellent stuff coming for UK. You can't stop the push like this.
Yeah, it just sort of felt that like Turkey was holding on to their utility for a little bit too long. And by the time that the Stun and Paranoia came out, the UK were already in on site. Really nice stuff from Scarlet to be there finding the opening. And it was a really good execute utility-wise. They get good use out of Hunter's Fury. Soulcast is the one player to go down. But with this kind of post plant, there's no Omen to smoke off C-Long. So all of the UK players holding in that position, and Turkey deciding to just save this one.
Yeah, it's better than squandering away the operator. It was a heavy investment. And I do think that in the wake of the current state of the economy of Team Turkey, maybe Chanel Smurfette iPod with a somewhat half buy. Could see, I don't know, we might see a Bulldog, not a complete buy, that's for certain. With Izzy holding a position alone, I'll play it on a retake. But I think Team UK stands to win a lot if they just keep on pressuring side C. Turkey is having a hard time negotiating it.
Yeah, Chanel, it really seemed that Turkey were in the right place to shut a play like that down, but they weren't able to withhold the execute as it came in. The Hunter's Fury making things a little bit more chaotic, I guess. So Hunter's Fury still held on to. And there's still enough of a buy for Turkey to run with here, saving that operator, and Epot just deciding which shotgun he wants to use the most out of the Judge and the Bucky. He settled on the latter, and he's going to be played just off of C-Long.
I mean, I guess it would be enough to allow him to get something a little bit fancier than just a classic next round, right? And Team UK, again, that's set on trying to play on side C.
They're going to clear it? They don't. I mean, this smoke should be enough of a giveaway. I think iPod panicked there that he was going to get spotted. And he has actually tried to push into this smoke here just as the C-split has come in. iPod can actually make a lot happen from this position with such a lowly gun. And I think the UK are aware that something fishy is happening. They've absolutely scarpered out of here. Link is the last one alive. He's terrified of this horror beam that's coming for him with the Bucky, and he goes down. But the rest of the UK at least adjusts. Puffy's in a great position to play off of this, and she gets lots of information on where these defenders are going to be playing from.
Yep, and now it's time to make it happen, and that's AZ just ready for that peak. Smurfette with a headshot on Soulcast, leaving boy Lewis alone to fend for himself. I mean, a beautiful idea from UK, right? You got one player stuck on C-Long, that potentially Team Turkey will try to fire off for that C, so let's make the most out of it. Let's rotate, get that plant and, you know, try to defend it. It's just that Team Turkey were way too quick and, you know, you're leaving that position of comfort, that safe place, towards a position where you know that an opponent is there, at least one player. Good bet from Puffy, but it did not get finalized in the way she probably hoped for. And
yeah,
that's
I think
6.
Maybe Puffy looks back at that and thinks that like she had a bit more time to work with.
Yeah.
Like, and it was good from Izzy to just be watching and expecting that kind of lurk. But yeah, UK panicking maybe a little bit on all sides to just try and make something pacey happen. But speaking of pace, Izzy's managed to push up here, gets good amount of information. He's fully flashed from the Phoenix, and nobody properly clears him. I'm pretty sure Soulcast had to do a double take to work out that he was even there. But enough damage is done. It's a 2 versus 5 in an instant.
Yeah, and Izzy could have done a lot more damage from that position. He whiffed. He clearly whiffed in there. Decided to go for the spray instead of taking his time. Probably panicked, thinking that Soulcast actually saw him. And that's Glow putting the nail in the coffin of boy Lewis, extrapolating him to the next round. Which might be the last one. Flash is coming up, and that's Chanel wrapping things for Team Turkey 12-6. As Team UK is clearly out of options in here.
It's all to do now. Some hella comeback is going to be needed in order for UK to at least bring this one in. It is fair to say at this point that both teams have qualified. Both teams are going to be in the semi-final. It's just a case of seeding at this point. And you say, like, Izzy could have taken his time there. I don't know. I feel like he was patient enough to not fire the gun whilst he was fully flashed. I think taking any more time would be... I think you'd have to disconnect in order to leave that a little bit later.
Yep.
He did his job. I don't think he's going to mind at this point. He's got the operator in hand again as well. He's in mid.
Oh,
Glow's going for it now.
okay. One kill for Glove, and enough information to allow Team Turkey to rotate maybe in time. A little bit early, which is good for defenders. But I mean, with all the mishaps happened, you know, that's an opportunity for Team UK to review what they could prepare to us in the finals later on as they got themselves their spot. And well, is he missing that kill?
Operator trying to go for maybe an audacious peek in the end. But it felt like Turkey wanted to play around the Omen smoke on site, able to at least slow things down. But the UK also happy to take their time. Lewis saved a lot of rounds for UK. Nice 4K for him here. Few more rounds to go, though. And you don't want him to be the hero in all of them.
Yeah. I mean, Team UK just could be a little bit more careful. I think that Team UK missed to check angles the most from the games we've seen, no?
I'd say that's accurate, yeah.
I wouldn't say the most, but they're there, right?
I mean, especially on this map, there's especially on attack too. A lot of places like sewers not being cleared that well. Seems that here though, there's not going to be some insane aggression from Turkey this time. But it's just going to be a normal default with a breach stun and the recon. Hunter's Fury actually used pretty early from Lewis, and it doesn't really get anything at all. 3 players have rotated over from Turkey over to the A site, but UK now really just wanted to slow things down. They forced out the Aldrin at the very least. And it just gets information of where Puffy is.
Okay, and the reply in the same fashion could end in a kill. No, that's easy.
No, the AWP.
Ending the pain of Puffy with the operator. And well, don't let that make you forget that Team UK just took direction, set sail towards site B. That spike going in, no way for Turkey to defend right now. All they can do is stall and hope that they get the damage through the walls. And that Soulcast just buttering Team Turkey with a double. And Glow finally putting a stop at his madness.
You had to find an opening. Now Glow and Epop trying to take fights individually from either side of the B site, and it's managed to work. It's whittled down Link versus Glow in a 1 versus 1. The high ground has come to the advantage of Link, and UK find their 8th, and there's a little bit of a clawback now. 4 rounds in between.
Yeah, you would love to see Team UK taking multiple rounds in a row. I mean, as you know, UK fans would probably be hoping in here for an overtime. Things are not over yet, but you know, Team UK are there. They've got the quality. We've seen them on multiple occasions. Seems to be that the engines just took too long to get started in here, and you know, if Turkey are not getting crafty, if they're not making those insane moves of just putting someone way ahead, opponents, maybe pushing way too quickly, they're just unable to get that early advantage, which is allowing them to just roll over and snowball over Team UK.
Problem has been, though, is that Turkey have been so rampant on their defense up until the UK have had this comeback, is that the economy's been super strong for Turkey. They're on the ropes now a little bit and might need to force a save after this. And the Rolling Thunder at least able to get 1 before some effort sends it back. Fortunately, Glow manages to sneak through the side of the Omen smoke and catch a Scarlet on the high ground. She and Puffy have been ran over a little bit in some of these instances, just bullied almost by the Turkish players. And Lewis taking a fight against Glow. Soulcast now is the one that's really starting to take control over in the server. Epop flanking in behind. Should have Puffy loosely watching his position. Should see it now at the very least, but the Guardian actually wins out that fight. And Epop making that a 1v1 now. Link has cleared it up. We've seen him clutch out these already, and Link is there facing aggressively against the operator. I don't think he knows he's going to be going up against it. He can't win the clutch this time, although time is low, but not low enough. 13-8. Turkey go through groups flawlessly, and UK sort of have to settle for 3rd place, I think, overall.
Yeah, I mean, settling for third place is not that bad of a thing, given that it's enough to qualify you for the finals later on. But I think that there are too many takes in here, too many notes to be taken by Team UK. There's definitely a lot of gears to be oiled in here, some calls to be revised, some habits as well, because bad habits die hard, right? And also this confidence needs to be built in between the players. Like a moment like the one, of course, where they tried to push that side A, right? They just didn't check the corner well enough, just caused the disaster on them. But I think overall, UK has that quality. We've seen moments, honestly, that Phoenix performance on the attacking side was insane. Too bad we didn't see enough of it on the defender side, Ryan.
Yeah, I think at the very least we've seen a team mechanically go head-to-head against Team Turkey, and I think that's the most rounds that Turkey have lost, right? So at least there's some, like, positives, I think, to take from Team UK. Like, I think what's the most likely outcome now is that UK would play up against France in the semi-final, which for me feels like a winnable rematch to go. And really later on, it might be a case of like who's going to be playing Turkey out of Germany and Spain. But we'll go over that a little bit later. Before then, though, let's hear what the desk got to say about that game and prep us up to see exactly what's going to be happening with Team France and Germany just afterwards. So don't go anywhere.
Thank you for that, Ryan. That was a nice match, even though you know, Team UK gave it a good fight. It was Team Turkey that came up on top after all and gave us that class that we know them of being able to perform throughout this past week.
Yeah, again, it was one of those games where once Turkey got a hold of things, it didn't look like they were going to let go. It's an early advantage of 6 rounds to 1 after winning a really important destruction of the anti-eco. And yeah, from that point onwards, they weren't exactly out of sight. UK gave them a damn good go with a completely different look to how this team has played in previous maps of Haven that they've shown us. But yeah, again, just target on their back now. They progress as first seed, and they most likely will be playing whoever it is that we have left in that game later on.
Precisely. And I don't know, I kind of liked the Phoenix. It was a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Solcast centered, it looked like he enjoyed it. He got a lot of kills out of it, a lot of aggressive pushes from it. What are your thoughts from the Phoenix?
My thoughts and my understanding is that Solcast has been put into this role just to empower one of the many individuals the Team UK has, and you saw the limits of that. I don't know if you're familiar, but Solcast has been putting out frag movies in this game since the beta of some of the highest quality that I've seen from someone who is also playing at the top level, and it felt like a few of those moments from time to time here as well. So it was nice to see some variation that they can offer for us too, but yeah, for the most part, I think this one was a bit of fun for Team UK, and yeah, they can leave with a smile on their face knowing that the land stage awaits them.
Yeah, so no matter what, the top 3 have been set in stone. Turkey first, France second, UK third. So France can do whatever they want, lose or win, but still, it's going to be a second spot for them later on. I mean, even though we do have the hierarchy in terms of seeding into the playoffs, do we feel like, you know, seeing these teams progress throughout the week, do we have a better idea and a better grasp about who will be coming in as favorites into playoffs?
I don't know that we do, Pavlos, and that makes for a very exciting live stage that we've got coming up in Madrid, because for my mind now, you have Turkey and then pretty much everything else that comes underneath it, and it's all fairly evenly matched. You even think about the UK game versus Spain that we had the other day, 13-11, and that they're now coming into their element and perhaps could be finishing in the top 4. The MVP for the game is available for us here, and no doubt it should be a Turkish player, I'm expecting.
I don't think we had a single game where the MVP wasn't in the team that actually won so far, so I'll be surprised if we didn't. But let's have a look. It has to be Izzy,
yeah.
And it's definitely not the first time Izzy has been MVP. I believe it might even be the third. With 25 kills and 15, he's been nuts.
I think pretty much every game that Izzy's been on this starting lineup, he's managed to snatch the MVP award. It was Smurfette last time out when he was absent, and it was a similar scene for Lux9, which now seems to be you know, their closest competitor in terms of raw fragging power there in that department. He's taken 3 from his first 3 play days, and I wouldn't be surprised if he can get one against the underperforming Germany later on. But again, it's great to see the quality that we have, not only the quality within VCT, but highlighting some of these players from challengers as well, and leading quite nicely into our 2024 season.
So for all the British fans out there, do we think we even have any good elements that we could take from that previous game from Team UK and perhaps give the fans some hope into playoffs? Maybe they have a chance there?
Yeah, I think we can, right? Again, you're looking at the players that we have available on Team UK, that there is depth there as there are on all of the other rosters as well. Flexibility to rotate in and out, and when it comes to a LAN environment, sometimes that's valuable to see what fits best. Obviously, you're not going to have as much room to play around with, but this game was never really going to have too much significance considering that they've already secured that place top 4, so we'll just have to see where it goes from there.
Precisely. Now, it's going to be 2 neighboring countries taking on each other later on. Germany versus France up next. So make sure you don't miss it. Stay tuned and we'll see you in a bit.
Just call you when the moon is rising. I'm craving every moment with you. I can't just need you when the tides are turning. I cherish every second with you. I've got to hold on to your heart every day of the week, every week of the year. I've got to rewind and restart till you get what you need, till you get all of me. Yeah, you get all of me, baby, I give you all of me. Please take what you want from me. Ooh, yeah, you get all of me, baby, I give you all of me. Please take what you want from me. Ooh, all of me. Ooh, all of me. All of me, baby, I give you all of me. Please take what you want from me. I can't just have you any way I want to, 'cause you deserve it all and much more. I can't just want you when the sky is deep blue. I'm better now than I was before. I've got to hold on to your heart every day of the week, every week of the year. I've got to rewind and restart till you get what you need, till you get all of me. Yeah, you get all of me, baby, I give you all of me. Please take what you want from me. Ooh, yeah, you get all of me, baby, I give you all of me. Please take what you want from me. Ooh, all of me. Ooh, all of me. Ooh, all of me. Baby, I give you all of me. Please take what you want from me. Ooh, all of me. I've got to hold on to your heart every day of the week, every week of the year. I've got to rewind and restart.
Welcome back, everybody, to Spike Nations. Of course, we've already seen the first match being played. It was Team UK versus Turkey, and we basically saw the top 3 seeds into playoffs solidified. But now it's a different fight. It's a fight, I'd say, for bragging rights, because it is going to be France versus Germany, 2 countries, neighbor countries that historically over any sport have had beef.
Yeah, I mean, look, the rivalry goes back centuries, not less even decades, right? It's a tale as old as time, Pavlos, and I think that Germany, if there's a place to get a one-up, it would probably be in this game, because as we've said before, it's not been a good look for them so far in the competition. To be the only team that ends up going winless is not something you want to have on your record when all is said and done.
No, absolutely not. Germany has got to get a win here. And come on, they've got the talent to do it. Look at this. Look at this team. It's stacked, right? I can't mention a single one of these players that isn't capable of playing at the level that the other teams are playing. But for some reason, things haven't been clicking yet.
No, they really haven't, and I'm just sat here scratching my head wondering why that's the case. I mentioned this a couple times on the broadcast already, but they were to be my dark horse team, namely VALORANT. The guy has looked absolutely ridiculous since his time on Focus and was pretty slept on for the last year playing under Maus. Leosin, another duelist coming in. You've got Benny, IGL slot, you've got Mr. Consistent, Masashi. Beating a dead horse at this point in time, but it's a horse which should have given us at least one trophy jump before keeling over. Looking at the French roster, I mean, the quality also speaks for itself, but at the same time, you'd say pound for pound in comparison to Germany, is it that much greater on paper? I don't know.
I think at the start of the tournament, we were actually considering France to be one of the underdogs of this entire story. And up until yesterday, I think they had a flawless record, right? So it's been an incredible ride for these guys. And I think one of the people that absolutely surprised us the most was Lux9. I think you touched upon him earlier today already. Yeah. But completely showing up in this tournament and showing off, let's be honest. When he's got an opportunity to find multi-frags, he'll get them.
Yeah, and look, it's a stat that I want to bring up, which I mentioned on the broadcast yesterday as well, that in the two splits that we saw of Challengers France, where a lot of these players play, as I said before, domestic competition is where you will see a lot of the players in Spike Nations come from. He hit top 3 for ACS across both splits, which is a feat with the only other one player was able to achieve, being Takas, who's now joined VCT for next year. The other couple of players that were in the mix and hitting those kind of numbers couldn't do it on a consistent basis, and it is that consistency, I think, which has suited them so well thus far in the tournament.
But we will be able to have a look at what maps these two teams will be playing on this time around. We're really hoping for something different, but I really do doubt it, considering these two have tended to go with what they are used to thus far, not fluctuating too much. So it is going to be a Lotus pick, actually, this time around for these two teams. Any thoughts on this one? Any differences from other times?
Yeah, Pavlos, well, I crunched the numbers during the break, and this, without a doubt, makes Lotus the most played map. I believe this is now the 5th time that we will have seen it played across the 5 play days, so averaging in at sort of once per day. Pretty good. Didn't see it pop up until the second match or the second round of games. But at the same time, I don't know if this makes me more excited or more worried for Team Germany.
The fact that it's Lotus, I don't know. I'm going to talk in general terms here, and I'll be a little bit more excited because we'll be seeing Lotus a bit more. I actually thought Ascent will be picked up, but Turkey's been trolling, and they've been banning that a lot, and they're definitely breaking stereotypes. But we're having a look at the roster lineup right now. Let's see. It seems that Team France going for the exact same comp as yesterday, I do believe, in Germany.
Yeah. Only difference would be the exclusion of Brams. So I believe in Spike Nations, you do have to rotate a player per play day, right? That is essentially how this works. You can't just stick with the same lineup for every single game that is played. And it is the fact that Brams isn't here, which, I said before, when they didn't have Nello, they didn't look as good against Turkey. Maybe that was a slight exaggeration. But Brams is another one of those players that up until this point had been there for every single play day. And unlike being the Sentinel, he's the IGL. So without their leader, is it going to be an inspirational performance?
Yeah, is it going to make a difference? That is the question. Well, this question will be answered straight away. It's going to be your casters, Ryan and Moon, to take it all away.
So we've had a bit of a conversation about dark horses, potentially. I think, really, France have been stallions to look at in some games, most of them. And Germany, more like My Little Pony, I think, overall. It's an important game, despite Germany having 0 chance to make the semi-finals, to just restore a bit of pride, to not go winless, right? So I feel for Germany, they're still a little bit riding on this one, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you just cannot crash out through this tournament without taking a victory, especially when you have talents. We've seen Germany, we've seen their players right and left going out with these players. We've seen how flamboyant VALORANT was for the majority of the games he played. It was incredible, and this time around he's going to pick a Viper and Lotus, while Benny and the rest of the team will be sticking to their usual roles. Plus Karina in here is taking out the Killjoy. But in the meantime, Team France in here with Soon deciding to go for the Chamber.
Yeah, what the hell are France cooking, to be honest? Like the chamber and the Killjoy. This one, it's a little bit odd, but I guess the creative liberties can be taken for France. They've qualified at this point. I think they're dead set to be second place overall anyway, so this game for them doesn't really seem to matter too much. But Germany, we have seen moments of them having some good infrastructure put together on this side. A couple of rounds going away against Turkey, for example, especially when you're looking at like VALORANT and Masashi having very good moments in those. But you can't build off of individual miracle moments. You need to get 13 rounds, and that's been the thing that Germany has really struggled to do thus far.
Yeah, they clearly require more consistency from a player who promised a lot, Leosen. We've seen, snippets of him just going off on his opponents, but seeing a little bit more of that, I think Team Germany would be faring off way better than they have been. Karina on a different role than we've seen previously. I don't think that, this composition from Team Germany, the spirit right now should be sticking together. While with Team France, I'm wondering who the in-game will be, who the captain, the commander will be. But I guess we'll get to figure that out after the game is over, as France and Germany begin this clash. One last dance in between the two teams as Team Germany just crushes the opposition in this Side C.
Traded out, at least from Nello, who needs to be careful with how this nade goes. Nami trying to flank in behind with the door. Meets 3 players and is taken out accordingly. Now Germany tried to reset as much as possible. France getting some information at least with the Trailblazer that's coming in. And Germany have actually used this as a good opportunity to try and just get away from these defenders, all of which are over towards the C side of the map.
And okay, VALORANT knows that rotation might happen in her team France quite well with 2 kills. And France, now with 1 player, VK or Vikage, like a headless chicken right now, has to figure out everything on his own. 3 players left, knows definitely that VALORANT is gonna take the long trip, but way too many screens, and with the vision impeded, manages to scrape this kill on Benny, but Musashi will end it all. 1-0 for Team Germany, convincing round.
Germany finding that opening and really just maybe the overextension, really, like Navi trying to go in behind through the door, pretty much gives Germany an out on that C execute. They pendulum swing all the way to A, and it's a fairly easy plan from that point onwards. The comp is a weird one for France, like not having a Viper, having 2 Sentinels like this is peculiar to say the very least. We still have a while to go to see how it's going to go, but right now they're just going to be holding on to their money and building up economy.
Yeah, and speaking of building, we also saw Team France build this culture of giving 3-4 rounds before we start seeing Glocks popping off. Might be the case here as well. And odds of winning this round are quite slim for Team France. The Headhunter from Soon just missing a couple of pixels away, essentially. A very bad timing to just remove that ADS. Team Germany are quite literally cooking in here, but the concentration of French player on Side C is just insane. It's immense. 3 players now. They have blind belief that Germany will execute here.
Skydog gets information at least on one of the players, which is taken out, and Nello's actually had a good amount of damage done to her already. 3 players there for France, all dealt with perfectly, really, for Germany. There could be no situations that are going to catch them by surprise. Looking to be flawless for Kaj. Wanting to at least do some damage to the economy. Nobody's facing him just yet.
And a first missed shot, and that's his position compromised. Germany getting this second point for themselves, and Team France still not yet online. Kind of expected on the second round. I mean, finally, a second round that actually, makes a bit of sense. And look at the equipment and so on. I mean, I would love to go back to the streams and just count again the number of 3-3 rounds that were won on the second round of the. It's just insane. I'm just. Yeah.
Germany's probably been one of the higher teams to win 50s as well. Like their share of fame has been better than some of their full buys at this point. But saying that, there's a full buy available for them here. Bonus for Germany. And at least Soon's able to get one TP out to safety. And Germany just using this as a chance to go for a straight B execute. Lux trying to do a little bit more damage. Even going to try and face him a little bit more. Sees that these attackers have actually rotated away to C.
Yeah, and losing 2 players this fast just kind of compromises whatever you're trying to do. Team Germany now just trying to rush things towards site A, and Nello has the right idea, takes position, still undiscovered, will try to cover for her teammate, not quick enough, able to grab the kill on Musashi, but numbers in here and a crossfire makes it impossible for her to stay alive. In the meantime, the rest of the cavalry arrives as Lux. Quite a precarious position here. Could grab a kill, I think. No? Oh, Benny gives his back to Lux, and that's only VALORANT left to fend for himself. Don't count him out of this, but Vcash had other plans for tonight. And that's a point deserved by France.
Able to at least get off the board and not allow Germany to build up their economy. But Germany, on the other hand, going to be happy with that round. They get a couple of kills to get the plant down as well. Getting more of a feel of where France like to adjust to, and just trying to get their aim warmed up. In this case, really, VALORANT had a few miracle moments over on the A site in previous games. Not able to do the same kind of thing here. Ultimate's not really on the way to having any of them just yet for either team, but an important round when you look at the economy. Must win for both, otherwise they're going into an eco.
Yep, and certainly none of the teams would like to find themselves in an eco, especially not at this stage of the game. Again, Germany and France playing for pride. I think France has much more less to lose if they lost this game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but it's also a confirmation game, right? With the rotations and so on. You know, you're at that stage where you've got 5 players who are trying to prove to everyone that they deserved this place, that they have way much more than we expected to show, and Germany just trying to salvage, you know, this pride. Yep, grabbing that victory against Team France would prove so much. And well, Leosen completely isolated from his teammates, forfeits his life while Soon grabs a double, but that's VALORANT on the back of things, granting Soon a 3rd kill. And Benny, quite quick on the trigger in here, could make it into 1v1, no. Fails to do so. VK again, the last kill of the round, grants France a 2nd one.
Yeah, just holding on and fighting on the site. Soon doing great work to just get the 3 kills on site. Pretty much immovable for the most part, but eventually traded in the end. He has the tour de force to go with here. So even though France do pick up the round, their money's a little bit tight, they can at least leverage that a little bit more with the tour de force, which is what they're looking to do now. Meanwhile, on the side of Germany, actually still trying to buy up from the looks of it. Economy, I don't think it's really been discussed by the team so far, because one player in VALORANT's put up, everybody else has done their best to save.
Yeah. And I think that things are falling down to Leo sometimes just moving on his own, right? That's kind of putting him in a weird spot. He's getting isolated from his teammates, and, well, Benny dying early in this round will cause some trouble. Team Germany, as they're deprived from any sort of, you know, smoke screen, and that's VALORANT on the ground as well, following that altercation with Nello. Don't you think they're getting a little bit too straightforward?
They're executing onto site now, trying to make sure that they can get these fights in on their own. Vikaj just maybe cocky, stood up on the high ground of CT, gets his head taken clean off, and now there's an opening here for Germany to do a little bit more damage. Leosen does have the showstopper available now. Lux trying to go in to try and execute. Leosen still playing in from tree to crossfire, still wanting to look and take these fights. The nade has at least bought some time. He's taken clean out the air by the tour de force. And now a 1 versus 1. 2 game changers players, Karina versus Nami, fighting it out in and around the smoke. Karina just playing off of the plan, pulled Germany in around where their buy wasn't great, but they managed to eke it across.
Interesting play coming from Karina. I mean, if anything, this round has been stolen from under France's feet completely. It just took one player, just took one Karina with a double to open things up for her team, and well, clutching it out in style at the end from the heart of that Vale. I mean, again, looking at things, I keep on seeing the same things happening from Team Germany. It seems to me that after the first round, the moment they decide on going somewhere, they just keep on committing.
Yeah, sometimes brute force is the best approach. I think mechanically, Germany haven't been too far behind any of the teams really this tournament. Unfortunately, though, there's a lot of first deaths happening consistently now on this basis. France are able to almost always get that first kill and almost always towards C. And it just means at this point that Germany are always climbing uphill at the start of these attacking rounds. And France seem to just really have a finger in every pie so far on this defense. They have so much map control.
And that's what's allowing them to, technically be able to read and predict what the next move from Team Germany would be. Yeah. Listen, could have taken advantage of that, but, well, okay, that's a...
Still might.
Coming from Killjoy?
Yeah, they might just open the door actually on C. Look at where the spike's moving to. So, yeah, the adjustment was nice. But could have done some damage to Vikaji, left it late before breaking it. Still trying to fight in from Waterfall. In fact, Leosin on the Raze has managed to potentially push up to CT, but wants to clear these players in Waterfall. The nade is great, trying to stop the showstopper from coming in, but it does stop Lux. No damage is done with this ultimate on the side of France. And Leosin not only finds that opening, but finds 3 other kills off the back of it, and soon with the operator and 150 credits, has to save.
No other choice. Soon has to live for next round. That's all of it. No other plan in hand, no other possibility. You definitely don't want to lose it out. I mean, if you look at things overall, I think that Team France spread out way too thin, forfeiting that side C initially, and, well, a blunder from Nello could have easily dispatched Karina in that encounter, could have made things a lot more different for Team France. And Germany looking good so far. Compared to previous games, we can see that they're a lot more accurate, they're a lot more dangerous, but that's soon taking care of the most dangerous player of all, VALORANT.
Managed to isolate him a little bit more, whether they actually get the kill.
Okay.
Don't know if it's getting worthwhile for Germany to be doing that, because their economy is fine for a full buy at this point. But it's just not the best money situation that you could hope for. It just feels like Germany are playing this one on hard mode. They lose a player instantly, they're playing 4 versus 5, and they're still winning these rounds. And you were saying that you want to see more at Leosin. He's 9-4, halfway to having another showstopper.
Yeah, and putting all of that aside, like, look at the kill feed, you don't see anyone that's... Maybe aside from Leosin, who's being set up this game by his teammates. You can clearly see the setup, the preparation, the execution, which is completely different from what we've seen before, and a carnage happening from VALORANT, grabbing those 2 kills on Nami and Lux, just freeing up opportunities to still wait site A.
But yeah, he's just fighting outside of EMEA. He just gets 2 before he's actually traded out. So they do know that Fakaj is over here because he managed to at least put VALORANT out of his misery. And they know that the operator's still in play. Over towards mid was where Soon got that kill over on Leosin. And now Fakaj needs to take this fight carefully. Benny was just slow peeking that, but still manages to get the headshot on the kill with the Phantom. Smoke's important here to stop Soon. He's trying to find an angle and try to push on the other side of it. Can't quite get the angle, but he's just going to hop to the low ground. Masashi taken completely by surprise, and the lockdown's thrown in play. At this point, you can see Benny actually having a paranoia in hand to try and pull this one in. Now uses it against Soon. Now it's in a 1 versus 1. And the fight's really awkward in the end. And Soon picks up the 4K, holds on for as much as he can, and he brings France to a 3rd.
I mean, look, it was a 3v2 situation. One would expect, all right, maybe an initial kill from Soon. Right? Musashi was giving his back. He didn't expect Soon to be jumping from heaven right away, and so on and so on. But then again, you're playing a 2v2, you have a lockdown in place, and I don't know, you're just giving away those 1v1 duels, which is clearly not what you need to be giving against a team like Team France. Alright, Brahms is not there, definitely. But Team France is not just Brahms. It's 5 players, 5 highly skilled players, right? And you gotta take calculation for every one of them. You gotta assess the risk of facing every one of them. And,
Yeah.
well,
It is a good point with like Bram's missing. It does feel like that brain of France isn't quite working as efficiently as it used to, because this is a team that had like heavy protocols, PMs to coach as well. So there's just all of these great ideas and fundamentals being pulled together. Here it does feel like it's lacking a little bit. They also didn't find the first kill this time, so it's at least a better position for Germany to be in. But Soon has just been the one-man band, it feels, for France. I think he's 12-5, 13-5 at this rate. Is just a one-man hold on C, and it's enough to scare Germany off to another part of the map.
yeah, I definitely do not want to fight the total operator. I mean, the early demonstration with the 2 whiffs certainly would give you a boost of confidence, but then you're trying to pick him up from the weirdest, hardest angle possible. Site. Well, that's gonna run away with the kill, bringing equilibrium to the state of things. And speaking of the status quo, again, in Site A is an exchange of fails in here, the paranoia as well. It's still being slowed down. Karina, an imposter, was amongst them on Site C, and this clears out Site B as the target of Team Germany, and the defense is already in place.
Oh, the Viper's Pit being used, and Vikaj is close enough to try and punish, but Masashi, that's such an important kill for him
Oh
to
my
get.
God.
Tries not to get more. No scope from Soon, who can't seem to be doing anything wrong right now. Able to still get one more. I thought Benny managed to get the kill there. He's on for an ace at this point, and Valorant in the Viper's Pit has it all to do, trying to go in and around, manages to just dodge where the Chamber's playing from.
Oh, no.
Soon completely misses him on the side, and Valorant Nella 1 versus 1. Nella's already lost one of these beforehand already. Valorant sprayed down in the middle of the Viper's Pit, down to 11 HP. Has to get off of the plant, has bought enough time. Nello can't get half on the defuse beforehand. There's not enough to go off of here. And Germany, in close fashion yet again, managed to pick up their 5th.
You gotta hate to be a player from Team France right now. That was a
Unless you
4v1. Yeah, that was a 4v1. I'm not wrong. That was a 4v1. 3v1, potentially. Let's go back to the number. Yeah. 3v1. And look, Soon was hunting the angle. You could clearly see the shoulder in here. He could not react in time. He had that
maybe
kill.
hit the steps as well. Just there, it's like there's a moment definitely where Soon, just unfortunately not looking in the right spot. The tour de force come out again for Soon. It's his second. He's able to get so much damage done. Him versus Leosin just seems to be going the direction of Soon every single time. But there's always something weird happening with Germany where they're able to just pull it back in their direction. It's crazy chaos now happening over on this B site. There was just no buy to go off on France. And it still somehow ended in a 2 versus 1. You look at the health of Germany though. Nello, this is very doable, but it's her 3rd clutch, and she's lost the last 2, so hoping for better luck here.
Yeah, missed the opportunity to take it home, bring it home on the last round. Nello. Not gonna say that she has much to prove, but had what it takes. Sadly, not enough damage to dispose of.
Oh, for God's sake. At least he's laughing. At least he's laughing.
But
I mean, I hope we do see the replay of that just to see Benny's reaction, because we did sort of miss it a little bit with the overlay.
Yep.
But man, it's gotta be tough when you're Nello. It's just like, how do I keep finding myself in these situations where the round is entirely on me? And Sue must be thinking, how the hell does the rest of my team keep screwing this up? I keep finding the opening. Hell, I found 4 in the round before the last one, and we're still losing these?
I mean, again, maybe a sense of order was lost the moment France left, and Team France need to calibrate again, maybe. Find that that order that we knew them for, and that's Nello grabbing a kill for herself, 2 down for Team Journey, make it 3 with the intervention of Backedge, and adds another one to his kill count this round. Arena left and Nello making quick work of her, and it's like the last round didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an instant switch round. I swear, whoever gets the first kill loses the round. That's how it's been so far. Like, there's no round or particular moment to capitalize off of. Also, it's worth adding, where the hell has Lux been? He's 5-8. This has been a guy that's been lighting up the server consistently every single time. And here he's just not been a part of this so far. It's just been very quiet from him. But then again, I guess Soon's really hogging all of the kills at this point. Only so many to go around.
I mean, exactly that. If Soon is grabbing every possible kill, there's nothing left for, for Lux to eat.
He is missing his IGL, though. Not only on Team France, but Brams and Lux play on the same roster together.
No, but again, if you think about it, the moment they will be the moment we'll reach the second half, I think Lux will be way more lethal. We'll see a lot more of him, but in the meantime, we're looking at a 6-4 scoreboard with Nello asserting dominance from this position, a double to her name. Seeker's committed, but nothing much coming out of it. Benny will dispose of them, and Team Germany again stuck in a corner, but soon cutting that transition. A double for him, and a 5th round for Team France.
He's also changed up his camera setup from last time that we spoke to him as well. I've just noticed soon. I mean, it's the camera buff, I guess, changing it up. But Nello's also been really impressive last couple of rounds, just really facing the aggression head on and being able to win out those fights. Maybe Team Germany thinking about calling a timeout at this point. It's been fairly light on timeouts from all the teams so far today. Maybe because everything's been decided. France is in the semi-finals. Germany can't make it. And maybe the coaches are just sitting back a little bit and seeing what the players can get up to.
Yeah, but again, every game is an opportunity to test yourself. Kid Flash, Lux not able to get anything done. A second peek, and that's Musashi on the ground. Germany again playing with a -1 curse. Call it.
Has it been a curse, though? Because they've won those rounds, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I should be naming other games, right?
You'll be fine.
It's a card game, okay? I was literally thinking Slay the Spire, right? It's like they picked up an artifact with a -1 player at the beginning of every round, and there's
it's like a roguelite, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels so you just, playing on like hardcore mode at this point. But really, like both these teams, it's the kind of end game of these rounds that have really been pivotal and really been going the direction of Germany. As soon as the game could slow down, these players can think. And, well, if VALORANT is still alive, this man could do quite literally anything that he wants in this game at this point. And the 2 versus 3 to give them the lead at halftime would be golden. He's pushing CT. He might push straight into this operator. Just as soon as the timing could not be worse.
Okay, made it to safe haven, but that's low. Dispose of Karina. Only Alorante left. Oh, sorry, Alorante left. You're Alorante. Disposes of Mello. And that's Nami. Left to her own devices, not even a half defense. Enough bullets with Alorante. That's the bite coming up. And again, facing him this time from beyond the void. And able to snatch this defuse for her team Nami. Making a valid point for Team France. And again, we're witnessing Alorante turning the game around. This guy's probably the craftiest one we've watched during this whole tournament.
The man's a monster, an actual demon spawn from hell, but still nothing compared to Soon. He's 19-8 going into the half, and it's even 6-all going into France's attack side. And realistically, I don't know out of France and Germany which team has benefited off this the most, which team has like squandered a good opportunity, because both squads had their run of forms. I kind of feel that Germany could have done a little bit more to stop France getting his last 3, though.
Yeah, there could probably be more preparation to take that fight on side C. I mean, every time there's a peak, whether it's a Guardian, whether it's a Sheriff, or an Operator, a kill is bound to happen. If it's not Soon, it's Lux. So his light has been a little bit dim on the first half. He did quite his part of the job. And again, second half starting, and Lewis just defeating his life just like that.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed that Musashi was just trying to get into position. At least, again, it's traded. Benny this time with Classic able to get that kill from Secret. And Musashi, now that the walls have awkwardly trying to adjust to get back in onto the A site, while Soon just takes pot shots. And now heading over to the C site is where France are looking to be going. It's just going to be Karina over here, very isolated from everybody else who is leaning towards A. Germany think this is an A execute, especially with that door opening. Hell, even Karina's rotating.
The way this fake has been designed has been flawless. Chance whatsoever to be led to believe that this was not an A execution. And
just right clicker.
It's just insane. It's just insane from Team France. They literally led Team Germany by the nose, giving them any opportunity in here to take defensive position, to bunker up on sites. Now that's the door flipping. VALORANT, say, trying to make something happen.
I mean, he's wall-banged a good amount of damage to Nami. 44 HP, and really he's taken all of the attention from France to look over to that spot, which allowed Benny maybe a chance to sneak in, jump it onto the defuse. I don't know if it's been stuck at this point. He hasn't even managed to get half. He's just been sprayed on through by Nello, who picks up the second. And France, well, they were able to get the pistol, I think, beforehand. At least added a second. Germany looked a little bit lost in their first defensive round.
Yeah, they did, and maybe that attacking side was a strong point of Team Germany, because so far we've seen a lot of disorganized thoughts. We've seen them a little bit too quick on the trigger when it comes to rotation. Questionable move as well coming. We're not used to see this, but a questionable move nevertheless from Leo this time around. Didn't have the support, just decided to fight it off like that with Spawn. I mean, if Team Germany is going to play in the same fashion, Team France are known for lurking around, for waiting and baiting and, you know, trying to get you from the flank, trying to get you from behind. And this time around, this Team Germany was going to get cooked up in their position. No, again, an attempt to fight, and that's Musashi losing his life. Soon again, he's literally given us a masterclass with this Chamber, really, this game.
Yeah, he said that he's pretty much a Sentinel player only, and that's been accurate. Maybe flexed out of the usual Cypher and Killjoy. We've seen a little bit of Sage from him, Chamber here. And yeah, the crispy aim from the Overwatch hit scan player is still carrying on over for him. And Leosin knows that he's about to have a lot of pressure put towards him. The Trailblazer doesn't quite catch him to his ankles with a stun, but he has to give up pretty much everything over towards A. Benny's trying to get into CT as much as possible, and Leosin just trying to fight as much as he can, is eventually taken out by Fakaj.
Yep, and now it's the turn for Benny to feel the pressure. Stalk didn't even get to do anything. You feel like he's a complete victim in this action. But he needs to get a move on. The objective here is to get as many kills as possible, and that's 2. Answering my wishes in here, but Tom now put a stop to his Berserk Frenzy. And VALORANT with a Sheriff, yet again in a 1v3. He pulled a miracle.
He's been a Reddit. I was going to say he's been like a Reddit clip compiler. I'm still just taken aback at how Benny managed to get 2 kills in the space of a couple of seconds with the classic from Hell on his own.
Yeah. The POV just didn't help us that much, but, you know, I was like, okay, he's stuck, he didn't even participate in the... He needs to get a move on, and, well, he took that a little bit too literally and personally, I suppose, and that turned into a double with a classic. Nevertheless, 2 kills, that will not change a lot to the outcome of the round. 8-6, and... well, a full buy coming from Team Germany now. And maybe we'll be witnessing the real defense that Team Germany is supposed to present to us in this game. And Sun missing with a hair's difference, a hair's distance, the leg of his opponent. Germany, for this time around, left with 5 players after 10 seconds from the beginning of the round.
There's a gamble to have the operator on a bonus, the bonus op, or the bop, if you will.
Yep.
Nowhere near having a tour de force either, so soon ends up losing this round. His money individually is going to be a mess. But when you're running on this kind of heater, you might as well try to make something happen at this point. Unfortunately, Lux, we kind of expected it maybe on attacking warm-up a little bit more. First death of this round. Germany have that full buy up against worse weaponry for France, minus the operator. But still, you kind of feel like France can come out like bandits and steal this round, especially if Nello's just going to push through her own grenade and take out Karina.
Isn't that insanity? Isn't that madness from Nello? But again, what matters is the outcome of the move. She did a kill to herself while the spike plant has been secured. Germany trying to draft as many players as possible to stop this from turning into catastrophe. That's little dropping with 2 people pushing her and Musashi. Getting that headshot will make things a little bit easier for Team Germany. No defuse committed so far, and Musashi will be biting his nails after this move. 3 players left, and that's Sun missing his shot, the operator dropping, and the 7th round for Germany, keeping them alive in this race.
Not only that, look at the money difference really for France as we sort of go into round 16. Everybody else can buy up, but 2.2k for soon. So not quite sure what he's going to do money-wise. Everybody else is able to put stuff together, so it's a little bit of an awkward situation that France has found themselves in. But Germany haven't won any of these best of ones. Still behind in this one. Everybody's got a smile on their face, which is what you do like to see. And I mean, when you look at some of the plays that France have been doing and you still have a response to that, probably the best look that we've seen from Germany so far this tournament.
Yep. And when it comes to pressure from Soon, I think that he was reliant on maybe grabbing could have ended in
Leosen.
and that's Leosen giving us an operator masterclass in how to play it aggressively. 2 kills. That's Team France dispatch gotten rid of. No chance for Soon. A spray from Nello, a first kill, but not enough bullets in that Vandal to end things on a positive note for her. 8th point for Team Germany, and France just dissolving in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that wasn't even an eco. It felt like that from France for a second just because of how much they were being shut down here. The money is still, like, I don't know what the adjustment's going to be now. I imagine the rest of France needs to eco, and now Suna's money. So, bit of an odd predicament to end up in, but it's the fact that Germany have now equaled the scoreline. Your economy is in a bit of a rut, and now Germany could potentially take the lead here.
Clearly, and, well, cancelling the idea of having that hero Vandal on the France, I'm just questioning what the decision would be from them. And the direction is straight to the next round for 3 of the players. VALORANT is imposing his rule.
Yeah, these rounds have been ended very quickly.
Spike down.
And they know that Soon's pushed his way through the door, but there's no magic there. And Germany take the lead, they take it flawlessly. Ultimates are getting very, very close if you see on the right-hand side of your screen. A showstopper for Leosen, who has probably got more kills with this operator than he did in the first half in its entirety, I'd say, at this point. And that's the gun that Soon picked up. Soon picked up an operator in the bonus round for him, lost it, gave it to Leosen. Leosen's now destroying France with their own weapon that they picked up. Laughingly, it's just actual madness that's happening here. In a game where I think Germany is still playing for a little bit of pride. And they have the lead. It's just whether they can hold on to it or whether France, and namely Soon, is going to just have a life round to pull it back in their direction.
Yeah, and Leosen here talk about giving you a taste of your own medicine. Melting away to Leosen, how the tables have turned. Like, we were watching the exact same thing. It's just that the roles were reversed on the first half. Both Soon and Leosen, and well, no, honestly impressive so far with whatever she's bringing to the team. I mean, she's always actively there, always grabbing a kill or two to herself. And here, Team France desperately trying to take this position, but Germany not conceding any inch of their ground. They're still holding up. Karina getting the info, not close to a kill, and well, it's getting dicey. And Nami unlocking this situation with a double. Well, VKJ assist with another one. It turned into a 2v1, but oh, behold.
It felt like Germany had full control of that. They were in a 4 versus 2. Maybe Benny a bit too close on the wall just gives Nami enough of an opening to run this one through. VALORANT, I mean, there's no other player on Germany that I'd rely on in these kind of instances, but it's just the fact it seems to be so often, and it seems to be that it's not really happening so far this map at the very least. VALORANT tries to isolate these fights on his own. Even Vikaj has to go for a wide peek just in case VALORANT pulls some ridiculous stunt out. And it felt like Germany had everything they needed there, and suddenly a 4 versus 2 rolls the way of France.
You gotta appreciate how Team France negotiated this crossfire. I mean, a couple of seconds. Yep, Nami in here picking the skill, despite the flash, and grabbing the second one just unlocked the whole situation. Team Germany could have kept on holding, could have played on a different queue, but, you know, for feeding that position, losing 3 players instantly, in the blink of an eye, just turned things around. And this just goes to show that Team France will definitely not forgive you for any mistake you might commit. And well, Soon, yet again, with the simplest fun operator, a tour de force, committed in here.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it like a Yorkshireman.
No, I always get
I-
confused, right? Because I'm reading it in
yeah.
French, but I'm unsure. Should I call it in French? Should I call it in English?
Yeah, call it like if you're French speaking, call it in French. Like
but
Van
I'm
Silly
unsure.
does it as well, but it's just when Mitch does it, where he's like the Tour de Force. Like, give me a break. Come on.
Was it intended to be called Tour de Force or Tour de Force, right? That's.
I mean, it's a French word that we use sometimes. I mean, most people don't realize it's a word. They think it's just a play on words for the Tour de France, but that's because people are kind of stupid for the most part. Benny isn't, however. He's playing backside, trying to play in at least the paranoia is going to hold off these attackers coming in. The alarm bot's still open on C, so that's good information at least to work with. The Seekers is making this a little bit more awkward for both sides to get a read on what they're doing, and Benny is still holding onto the backside of C as much as possible. Masashi, however, taken out by these players from France, just rolling on through into that B site. Showstopper going to be used to try to delay this, but the Tour de Force takes him clean out of the sky. Benny is in a 1 versus 2 now against Nami and Vikaj. The spike has been planted. He's wrapped all the way around and just buying more time as this lockdown. I don't think either of these players are going to expect this kind of flank, but the longer the time goes on, maybe they get an inkling.
Yeah, and I'm
hear it
honestly
now.
believing in Benny now. He does know. Oh no, committed for the defuse, and that's what would bring about the calamity to you, Benny. I think he had enough time to try and look for one of the two players, in any of the expected positions. I think that if you disposed of Vikaj, we could have seen things progress into a different direction, right? He had enough HP, he had armor, he had a Phantom, really good for this close-range combat, but, well, decisions. That's Benny dropping this point for Team Germany. France 10, Germany 9, and things keep on looking as dicey as ever with two operators on both sides.
Yeah, Seekers used on both sides. Operators just taking these battles soon can just sort of sit back a little bit and take these engagements. I mean, this has been a bit of a problem area for France trying to execute onto the C site. There's not going to be too much of a contest here, other than Leosa with the operator who's just taken clean out. Benny, however, trying to make up for previous mistakes, able to get 2 before he again is traded out. 3 versus 3 now. You've got the wraparound coming in from Masashi, and looks is going to be fighting CT and might run into these 2 players.
Yep, and, well, kind of a tough position to play on the snakebite in here, just pushing Lux out of position. Now again, it's down to Vikaj and Nami. The latter impressed the last few rounds. Oh, they would expect that! And the whiff of your life, Musashi!
You see both of
You do
them.
not miss this ones. Yep, and that would be a good cue for the defuse as well. Musashi getting that first fight, VALORANT is securing space. For Karina, it will get rid of this spike. 10 to 10.
It's worth adding that this game doesn't have any weight to it when it comes to this tournament. But try telling the players that right now. 10-all, both teams just gunning to get this over the line. Pressure even happening to players that have played at the tippity top of VCT. And Masashi, well, you don't really expect him to be whiffing any shots like that. But France, the chaos was caused, and it did allow the rest of Germany to get an opening in onto site. You look at the money, though, for both teams, it's a must-win. This is probably the most important round for both sides, because if they lose, they're on eco, and that's match point for either of these 2 squads.
And then you get a straight... No, Soon is just... This is the second time that he misses, a shoulder pick that was to his advantage, but luckily for him, his teammates were available to just pick up and retrade his life. 10 to 10, 3 versus 3, and it's not France to capitalize on this round. Make it the 3rd kill, and that's Benny and Karina trying to figure out what might be happening. Benny with a little off information, and, well, a paranoia in here. No chance whatsoever. A plant secured, the catch covered, and a good crossfire. Team France played this in the cleanest possible way after losing.
It really does feel like Germany just have these moments where they're like audacious stuff to pull us back to even score or even take the lead, and then they start off really solid, but then just the rest of the round just falls apart. Like, it seems easy at this point from France to just pull it over the line and go in for this execute. This combo as well with the Trailblazer clearing the A site and then the Paranoia connecting off the back of it is really nice. I don't believe the France would call a timeout now. Like, I like you, PM, but if this is your timeout, I don't know what you're playing at.
Okay, I would like to call myself a self-diagnosed expert of weird timeouts. Okay, I mean that's not the
Alright.
proudest title to have, but you know, a lot of teams have this problem of closing out series, closing out games. Right? You get there, you're at 11, you're at 12, everything is looking wonderful for your team, and for some reason you start dropping rounds. I'm not gonna, name drop any team for that. But from experience, it's really good to actually take a timeout, calm things down, draw a plan in order to make sure that you capitalize on their point. Especially when you're playing, when as a coach you have a team that's really passionate about the game. And when I'm saying passion, it's not just about the love of the game, but when you're playing passionately, right?
Yeah, it's a good chance for France to bring this over to the line, or at least bring us to match point. We haven't had enough time so far this tournament. Maybe it's a chance to get it here because it really has been neck and neck. Just each of these two teams having a couple of rounds in a row to bring a streak together and then be broken in heartbreaking fashion and then going the other way. I think neither team's going to be happy with how they've performed so far. It's been sloppy from both sides. But it's these big games that you have to keep consistent for. Lux, however, probably the consistent MVP of this tournament, has been quiet so far today. Not really had the shining moments that we'd expect from him thus far. But that kill in itself is a big one to get.
Definitely. Whittling down the numbers on the side of Team Germany would be of importance given the stage of the game. And a lot of pressure being applied by France right now. Looks like committed and completely ignored. They banished that position out of existence, Team France. Nobody even tried to check it out. Although they had the initial information. The bot for getting out to bot.
Oh
and
no.
Soon grabbing a kill for himself. VALORANT getting the revenge on Lux. And Nami, just ever present in here. And, well, weird. Benny just got 1 kill. You'd expect him to get 2. And that's Team Germany giving away that 12th point to Team France.
I gotta say, Vicard just probably been the saving grace for France, it feels like. While Soon was absolutely pounding in that first half, I think Vicard just been the player to really keep things going for France, like winning out in clutches, good utility, playing off of his teammates. So it's been nice to see that, and France eventually make it to match point. It's just whether Germany can meet them there. They have a full buy, half armor, and a judge in the hands of Masashi, so it's barely a scrape together with money, but Germany have it all to do now.
Okay, and, well, one point to keep in mind, at least that's what I noticed so far, Sun has been underwhelming on the second half. Nami and Nello in here picking up pieces from Team France and able to make this collage of moves and plays that are keeping them afloat in the game. And, well, VALORANT on the ground, that's a lot of firepower lost for Team Germany as they brace for the upcoming tidal wave from Team France. Wonder if that's frustration shots from Musashi, but I'd understand if it's the case.
Just hoping to see if there's any response coming through. At the very least, he's picked up VALORANT's gun, so the judge has been left on the ground. Benny is going to have everything thrown towards him. A Seekers, a nade, and then a Showstopper following along with his Jelly Flesh. He's able to actually just give Lux all of the space. Masashi attempts a trade. The Skydog's going to send him in further before Lurioson takes him out. Vakaj, a star player, brings France 13-10 in their win. It's just the one loss in groups that they had against Turkey. But for Germany, unfortunately, no wins at all on the board for their group stage.
Yeah, extremely interesting to see France play in this way. You probably noticed, Ryan, same for our viewers, that they have been playing a completely different style of Valorant compared to what we've seen before. One might factor in maybe the map, as it's our first time witnessing them playing in here, in Lotus. But again, I think that we could feel here that there was a change in the chain of command, the type of instructions, the nature of them, and so on. But it was really nice to see Nello coming up strong during this whole game, which validates, of course, her presence in here. It was also interesting as well to see Nami come back alive again on the second half.
Yeah, I'm curious what the mentality for France was in that one. We will have a winners interview shortly, but first, let's hear what the analyst desk had to break down with what was definitely an entertaining game. It was a game of all time, shall we say, Pavlos?
That's definitely one way to put it, Ryan. That's definitely one way to put it. Unfortunately, Germany couldn't get it done in the end, albeit it was a great effort at the start, right? They went toe-to-toe in the first half. They seemed to get close here and there, a few clutches. It was all over the place. It was extravagant. I guess it's exactly what Ryan called it. It was exactly what you want.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I put it to you in our DMs as we were discussing what exactly on earth we had seen. And once more, I just don't know if this is a German team which we've seen develop or devolve over the amount of time that they've been playing. If you think about that first game against Team UK, a narrow 13-11 loss on Ascent against a team that's third place in playoffs, you'd say, okay, you know what, I'll take that with a pinch of salt. We expect them to do work from this point onwards. And you've got this weird muggy middle ground until this game where they finally hit double digits again. And once more, it doesn't feel like they're singing from the same hymn sheet. It's like, you know, you've got the choir trying to hit the right notes, and then VALORANT in the back, like strumming the guitar, doing a solo every now and then, which is cool. It has its own value, but I really just don't know how to feel about this team, and the results are probably deserved.
It's like they switched genre in the middle of the tournament, and they tried to run it back into the oldies, but they just couldn't, you know, make it work on time. They couldn't warm up the crowd. They couldn't warm up themselves to help them. But yeah, it was an interesting one. Thankfully for this match, we had a couple of moments where we were like, you know, on the edge of our seats. I think we just saw it, a double kill from Leosin over in the big boy door. It's in Sands. There were a few of these moments that we kind of enjoyed, and you know, Germany at least went out with a bang, you could say. But yeah, it is unfortunate they are in that last place, but hey, they'll still be in land, they'll still be a show match. But I guess that it is what it is.
Yeah, look, we'll just have to see, and of course we have one more game coming up to see who it is exactly they'll be facing. But you know, it's sad that they trail out like this as well, and I think that is the main thing that we have to focus on before we go to an interview with one of the French players. Is, you know, the fact that they have gone here winless. It's a shame. Like the DAC community, I think, especially within EMEA, is always just such a fun bunch, and like, you know, easy to get on with, I think, for most people. But still, highlight points like VALORANT, as I said, a player that we'll definitely be looking at coming into challenges in Northern Europe for next year, coming up in January, I believe it is. So yeah, I mean, there are a few positives to take, but again, there are few positives to take.
Hey, if there are any German fans out there that are looking at the stream, if you want to blame anyone, blame Zesh. It's his fault somehow. So go whenever he's doing a watch party, go into his chat and blame him. Germany will come back stronger next time, I reckon. But let's throw the MVP of this match. You did mention VALORANT is a name to shout out for ages, but for this one, the player that did stood out the most has to be Soon.
Yeah, that it definitely does. Rolling back the years, as Ryan said on broadcast, reminding me of his illustrious career in a different game.
Wow,
but yeah, 24 and 16 on Chamber. Nice to see a bit of variation as well. You're thinking about a player which has donned a few different roles now in this team, whether it was on controller or a different Sentinel role, such as the Sage, which he was playing on Split, a map which has looked pretty damn good for France so far, and will definitely be an asset to them when you consider the type of maps that we'll see picked up when we head towards the best of 3 stage, because that's what we're really looking towards now. Maybe there isn't a low to take away from this game. My main factor would be that, yeah, the playstyle is a little different under Brams and how much of an asset he had been to their calling structure, but otherwise, yeah, just a solid individual performance.
100%. And with this victory, by the way, what France have managed to do is that there are no tiebreakers in the top 4, right? Otherwise, it would have been a matter of difference of rounds, but they win it. Therefore, top place is going to be Turkey with 5 wins. France is going to be second with 4. UK with, I believe, 3. And the final match to be played later on today, we'll find out who will be with 2 wins. Is it going to be Italy or is it going to be Spain? Which is what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, and this also leads me to believe that what the setup then looks like in terms of the actual opponents that each of these teams will be facing is that you have your first seed versus your fourth seed, and then second and third go against each other for the sake of fairness and there to be some kind of tangible reward for your placement within groups. So Turkey taking on whoever it is that makes it out alive of this next game to finish them off, I think is probably the best way to describe it, unless we see a radical turnaround from either. And then France versus UK, which wasn't exactly the closest game before, but to be honest, we've seen this UK team develop a little bit since then as well, put in some good results to get them this top 3 spot. So it's an open playing field, Pavlos. That's the best part.
Exactly. I feel like UK, as long as they got that playoff spot in, they're happy. Once it comes to the playoffs themselves, they're going to give it their all, right? Playing in front of the crowd is what they know. A lot of experience on that roster. They're really going to give it a fight. But I do believe we have an interview ready. So let's bring that one over. It's got to be PM. Hello, welcome to the broadcast.
Hi, thank you.
So how do you feel with this result today, with this whole process? France getting the victory. With France getting the victory.
That was fun, and it was good because we were tasting a game without Brahms, who is the IGL. So I wanted to see who is speaking the most and how they organize themselves without Brahms. So that was really fun.
Okay, so would you then say that coming into this game, in terms of what your goals were, considering you'd already secured top 3, was it just highlighting those individuals a little bit further, seeing what kind of pieces you have to play around with coming into playoffs?
Yeah, I wanted to see who is the natural leader, who wants to take calls, play another map also, even if it's without Brahms. So it was, much more of an experience than anything else.
So you've had a really good say about how things are moving around in regards to who is leadership, who is going to take up which role within the team. If you could pick up anyone from the French scene to just put into this roster, other than the ones that are currently there, who would it be?
That would be Cadavra, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah, or Shin.
Mhm.
One of the two. I would say Cadavra, but he was not available.
Right. Okay. So you have contacted them then? There was a potential for them to be involved. Oh, I see. Still, we've got a really fun bunch, so I'm glad we're seeing them instead.
Yeah, I've contacted a lot of French players, but it was kind of the last minute, so many French players were not available for both VCT challengers and even game changers.
You guys have definitely put a solid shift in now, securing your second place in the group phase and then moving into the live stage. We had that game yesterday against Turkey. Maybe things didn't go the way that you were looking for. Who do you now see as your main competitor heading into the final stages of this tournament? Is it still Turkey? And what did you take away from that matchup yesterday?
It should be Turkey, but we are going to play offline. And I would expect the British to be much more like much better than they were against us because they have a lot of experience offline and also they just have a better show lately. So I wouldn't underestimate the British players, but normally it should be the Turkish. They are the favorite of the tournament right now.
Well, brilliant. You guys look like one of the favorites as well with the performances you had. So congratulations again. And I guess see you in Spain.
Yeah, see you in Spain. Thank you.
All right. Again, really nice interview with PM. All right. Any final thoughts, Hazard, before we draw things to a break and look forward to the next match?
Not too much, just PM holding those cards close to his chest, not revealing any secrets as to what has been learned, what he's exactly taken away from these last couple of games, which for sure will have been a learning experience, but we can write one thing down as a fact. France will be there in the live stage, and they are not done yet.
Well, do not go anywhere, everybody, because the real meat and potatoes of today's broadcast is going to be this final match. It's Spain versus Italy, and the final spot for playoffs is up for grabs. Don't miss it. And we're back. Didn't take too long, told you. We're back for the final match, the most important one. It's going to be Spain versus Italy to decide who will be taking that final spot into playoffs. My name is Pavlos, your host for today. And Hazza, what do you think about this match?
I've been waiting for this match all afternoon, all tournament, man.
All tournament? How did you know from the start of the tournament?
So smart.
That would have been Hazard. Oh, okay. Hey. Big brain.
Hit me, baby, one more time. We have one final game coming up. And I don't know if I'm like huffing the Spain hopium here, but I can just sort of feel this comeback slowly building. And
oh yeah.
They pushed us right to the brink. They were close to being eliminated before this match was even played. But yeah, they have just about skin of their teeth made it to this final showdown.
Which is the word I've said the most this entire tournament, Hazza? Sandbagging. Right, Spain at the start this week, they were sandbagging, and I swore by it. And it looks like this time around, this week, they seem a lot stronger and on form to get the show on the road and get into playoffs and play in front of home crowd. And they're doing that, finally. Italy, on the other hand, the first week looked a little bit stronger. And to be fair, we were a little bit surprised by the results, but they stayed semi-consistently at a high position, right? They weren't losing too dramatically. They always had some sort of an answer to their opponent. So we still have high hopes for Italy, given what they've shown so far.
Yeah, and honestly, I would be disappointed if they didn't qualify either. So it's a real shame that we don't get to see both of these teams represented in the main circuit of the competition when we do head to Gamer G in Madrid, because Italy have been tearing up the script, right? Pinning results when you don't really have them down to be taking them. The one win that they have so far, albeit, is against that, you know, winless German team that we've just seen play. But at the same time, you know, going as many rounds as they did against Turkey, hitting sort of double digits on Ascent and like just some of the other matches and the VALORANT they've been playing has really demonstrated the capability they have.
The bands that we haven't seen are banned. The maps that we haven't seen are banned. So it's going to be split. We will be seeing split, and it's going to be Spain on defense to get us started. Any thoughts? Yeah. Does this change anything in your mind?
Well, I said double digits with Turkey. What I meant was France, and it was on split the last time they played them. They gave them a real run for their money. Whether they can haul this one over the line against Spain, how they played here yesterday, though, is a different question entirely. Composition-wise and team-wise, this, you know, it has me really curious. And yeah, Leah comes back into the team. Toki maintains her spot, and you've got Fatinho there as well. If Spain rock that double duelist with Fatinho on Raze and he looks half as good as he did yesterday, then you have to give them a lot of stock coming into this one.
Definitely do. This is going to be a really close one, I reckon. And considering that Spain yesterday came into the match prepared, right? They had some scrims played, they had some pracs organized, which if you're Italy, you've probably watched that interview, you probably realize what Spain is up to. And you've probably gone for a prac yourself, right? If I was Italy, in Italy's shoes, I'd probably do that. So maybe we'll be seeing two prepared teams for this one. That would be something that I think all of us would enjoy, and we would definitely all appreciate. And I guess we don't no longer need to sort of think about this and talk about it, because we can see it all in action right away. It's going to be Ryan and Moon to take us with the action.
All right, this is the one to be watching. Ignore your friends, your family, get your snacks ready, because this is the game that matters. Whoever wins this is going to be qualifying for the semi-final. Whoever loses is out completely. Moon, set the stage. What have Spain been like so far this tournament? What have Italy been like so far this tournament?
All right, so first of all, it's extremely scary to make any sort of prediction, because both exponentially. And before we even continue with my description, my imagination of the situation, here's reality hitting us in the face with the agent selections. And as it stands and as it seems, well, almost a mirror comp. It's just Edicos going here for the breach. In the meantime, Spain will be relying again on the double duelist meta.
Yeah, I quite like these comps, like stylistically fitting what has been working for Spain. Like having Toki be in this roster now, it's led Spain to some pretty good wins overall. And for Italy, their team play, their defaults, and their calling from Edicos has been one of their main impactful parts that has made this Italy team look pretty good.
I think we can all agree here that a statement that was made yesterday about Turkey bringing in this aggressivity, this new potential for Team Spain could stand true in this game, and Turkey could be the key to unlock these defensive positions for Spain in order to reach the sides. But on the other hand, Italy has been extremely scary to play against on this map. We're talking about Split, and there's one name that needs to be respected. That would be Caden. Caden was a pain point for Team France throughout the game, whether it was on attack, on defense, run out of steam, I suppose, around the end of the game, which allowed France to, put the nail in the coffin. But again, two teams that kept on growing, two teams that faced a lot of adversity from the get-go, had hard-hitting opponents throughout the tournament, but that does not excuse anything. Team Italy and Team Spain now with a chance to raise to their potential with 5 seconds separating us from the beginning of this game.
Yeah, Italy have been the definition of fine this tournament, but is fine good enough to make top 4 for Spain. Had the worst possible start that you could imagine, but now starting to run into form. Italy attacking first. It's where they did the majority of their damage against Team France earlier this week. And like you said, Caden, the player to watch, Bowen is kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place at this point. Gets swamped by these Italian players that are making their way through. Nick Cerrito trying to get a kill off of the trap, is able to at least take him down in the end. And Fatinho now with 2 kills pretty much backs these players on site into a corner. The nade is going to make things a little bit more problematic, especially for Edu, cause he was 2 HP before he went down. Fatinho looking to make this a 4K. Caden coming up close, but the trade from Leah is just good enough. Spain take the pistol.
I mean, it's sad for Team Italy. They did everything possible to clear everything out. It's just that control of heaven wasn't on point, and give away those kills, giving away this space for a player like Fatinho, he definitely would like to avoid that. Fatinho was sharp. He was standing and didn't even take 1 point of damage. The way he moves, everything was set for him to turn the stage upside down, and Lear in here not finding any difficulty disposing of the last kill. This is promising. I'm forecasting an excellent game on a micro level, really.
Yeah, I think another player that's certainly worth highlighting on the Spain side was Volwin. Really good interview yesterday talking about just how much time and effort Spain are putting into their game so far. Toki can actually connect with the Marshall. She was down to 6 HP. I thought she wasn't going to be able to get anything. She's at least traded out, but still, good start to this round from Italy to just get some damage in onto Toki. And Edikos still has that Marshall in hand and is pushing mid.
Yep, and Edikos in here trying to find maybe a situation that could allow for Team Italy to build, starting from mid, or maybe are they just trying to stop any sort of rotation from the defenders of side A, starting from heaven? But there's still no clear plan from Italy, rotating back towards mid this time around with a spike heading towards ropes. And this is kind of twisting my mind. Is there a camera on
space
A?
to work with?
There's a camera at the back of site, right?
Not for Nick Sereno. At least I can't work out where it is. I think it might have been destroyed. There's already been a little bit of a fight here. Yeah, it was broken before. 5 seconds before the camera's available again. Fatinho at least able to get a kill as he's rotated in. Nick Sereno now just picking a time to actually peek out of CT. Has at least a little bit more support. And Italy getting a spike planted on this eco.
Okay, and maybe Tag would try to get out of a comfort position, trying to make something happen, gets a snippet of where Fatinho might be standing. A picture ambiguous that gets a tiny little bit clearer, and that's Bippo taking vision away from Fatinho. Tag with a headshot with this classic. A 1v2 for Tag, not able to get the damage done. And that's Warwin escaping
2 HP.
by a pixel from a bullet that could have ended things for Team Spain in this round. And well, quite the expensive victory, I think.
I mean, there's no bonus here that you can have if you're Team Spain, and that's 2 rounds out of 2 that Caden almost pulls off a 1 versus 2 in the end. Toki, I think she was maybe expected to flick up for the Cypher camera. It just kind of gets caught out in a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, Fatinho at the very least has been clearing up some of these rounds for Spain, but still, it's getting way too close for them.
I mean, it's really great to see Fatinho fit for the game, right? again, he's one of the players that have been, heralded, championed time and time again while talking about Team Spain. But we started seeing a little bit of it yesterday. Well, this time around, he doesn't get to see anything as Team Italy is just biting at Spain, almost in their spawn. That's a calculated risk.
Have to take some little risks, I suppose, with the money. Toki just having a frenzy so far to go with. Just take that aggression and was hoping to maybe do a little bit more damage to the bodies of Italy, but the most that they can manage was Caden going down to low health, but he just gets healed up by the Sky regrowth.
Yeah.
The execute looking to come in, and it's just a camera over there, so this should be fairly standard for Italy to get onto this B site.
Okay, and that's Beep already at the end of it. Sees Lear, disposes of her in the blink of an eye. The situation turns into a two-defender scenario. Scooped up in heaven, no vision whatsoever, no information to work with. Okay. Spike planted, and that's Beepo from the shadows, getting rid of Nixerino. And, well, a second point for Team Italy on a bonus round. But, first.
Yeah, first.
Yeah, it's first. Yep.
I mean, with how close these rounds have been, it's easy to blur them all together, but Spain really weren't able to take that much into their bonus here. Now they have that full buy, and Bippo has the showstopper pretty early on, and it's looking like they're going to go for a straight execute here. Like, Nixerino already caught a player like Bippo on the execute last time on the pistol, hoping to catch him again with his setup with a Cypher.
Yeah, Team Italy just in absolute control of the tempo in the previous round, and you gotta respect that. Again, this is definitely the most important game of the tournament so far. This is the game with the highest stakes that we've seen. Like no other game. This is the only game where two teams are fighting for a place. We didn't see that before, and well, Bippo in an interesting position. Knows something is up. Okay. Good thought. He had the right direction, but the damage wasn't there. That's Toki with an operator taking some risks in here, pushing with a scope. That position.
Oh, the flash is good. It fully connects onto two players, and at that point, it forces Tag to take a vice. Moki is just able to peek off the back of it and gets the 3K. Fairly clean, all things considered, from Italy. The showstopper wasn't able to get anything over towards that A site. Good patience from Spain to not really panic and peek into it as such. But Italy kind of get a free plant over on A, and their post-plant hold was kind of impregnable. Spain could get their way in.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, but Spain preferred to play the A site as a retake all the time. We don't really see any sort of fight happening around the site, maybe on Heaven. But then again, you can clearly see that there was a lot of confidence in the fact that Toki with the operator would be able to clear that area. But again, two whiffs, that cost us so much for Spain. But again, we know what she can bring to the table, so we'll get to see in the following rounds how she can turn this game around. But again,
Toki is just going. Like, she is pushed all the way in behind, and at this point, you're not really going to expect them to be here. Toki's seen all of this for free. Knows pretty much everybody's going to be going in for the B execute. That's the spike too, so Toki's in a great position to keep this pain hurting. The showstopper's even dedicated, and Caden has to pull it all together in order to salvage this round. He's on his way to having an ace, and Spain had the potential there to make this a round that Italy was going to be maybe kicking themselves out for losing if it wasn't for Caden having the hero plays.
yeah, exactly. I mean, Caden, while all of that was happening, decided, okay, guys, you just handle this spike, just leave me with side B. I got it. And he was just, doing cleaning. It was just cleaning that site. And there was no way for Team Spain to actually contest his positioning. It was just too lethal. And well, Caden on an Omen is split. We've already seen this movie before, and we do know the ending of it. And so far, Team Spain is not looking solid enough to contest the relentless assaults from Team Italy at all.
Yeah, it feels like Italy have had everything to keep themselves going at this point. Lucas Rojo's very important time for him to be taken. Maybe not the most important of his career, but it's up there for sure. And he's got good players that are able to bounce off of this. And I think it is like reiterating But Voran was saying yesterday in the interview, this is something that the Spanish team really care about. They know that they have real passionate fans that care about how they're playing. They're actually doing like server time. They're doing practice, really nailing some of these ideas down. And I think it does show. Spain have been looking better in this tournament as it has progressed. The problem, however, is they're up against a team that has been often overlooked in Italy, who are even now showing that they mean business and they deserve more respect put onto their name.
Clearly, a good showing against Team Turkey. We've seen them stand toe-to-toe for the majority of the game against Team France, a team to be respected. I think that's the term, that's the adjective we need to put next to Italy right now. And Team Spain, well, I mean, it still would sadden anyone, right? It's just like having a football final without, the host country being in it. And in the meantime, Italy are just trying to get us closer to that scenario, while Lear will target, still trying to fight, but Kaden appears on the flank. Yep, way too long.
Yeah, it could have been a real problem as well, because you just have the breach pushing through B main alone. And we saw Toki go for a little bit of a bus route lurk right behind Italy last time. Well, she's about to do it again. Turned around at the worst time for Eddie, because I think he was trying to dodge the flash, and then that's when he sees the token of his demise. Kaden just trying to hide as much as possible, but the Neural Theft is going to give up that information. Toki sticking the defuse, Nick Sereno looking to fight, and after the timeout, Spain pick up a very necessary round.
I mean, the summer round, there was a lot of fighting happening on the side. It wasn't decided that, okay, leave the side, we're going to try to retake after losing one player. And that the backbone, Team Spain, needs to be showing on the defensive side. That's extremely important. I mean, look at this stuff. You're still in a situation where you're playing on almost equal level in terms of, players left alive. You have your weapons, everything is in place. You can have a clear of the side, and you can take advantage. So the key here is to whittle down the number of the attackers. It gets clear. I mean, this is logic, okay? This is basic 1 + 1
It's the forehead approach, yeah. Just take out the attackers.
3-on-3 retaking is better than 5v5 retaking for defenders. It just makes sense. That's just how the game is.
Especially if you can get that utility out early. Like the breach especially, get those stuns, the 2 flashes aftershocks, and they don't have it for the post plant. It can be kind of tricky, unless you just aim and hit those shots. But speaking of breach utility, they're about to exert quite a lot over towards B. Rolling Thunder comes through, doesn't connect onto anything, and actually Fatinho's the one to get that first kill, which shuts down everything from Team Italy. It forces the Seekers off the back of it. Voen does well to break this close. He even flashes expected Tag to lurk up, but wasn't expecting him to be that close. The Neural Theft's going to get good information, and it should be an open site for Italy, but they've used 3 ultimates to get here, and Spain is still in a 4 versus 4 to work with.
Yep, and with the plant of the spike coming up, the pressure's building on the Spaniards, and that's Kaden again, a nightmare to play against. In the meantime, Toki again and again trying to push her team forward. But the information is clear. 3 players are on the defender spawn trying to access that site. That's just how much she gave us information to her team, and well, Kaden easily disposing of Vitinho, granting Team Italy a 4th round. As Team Spain will try to scrape their credits for any sort of semblance of a bye on the next round.
And this kill was pivotal though. Tag just the lurk up, really catching Bowen by surprise. Kaden constantly just being a pain in the ass to deal with. Every single situation, whether you faced him head on or it's a flank. Really opened up the map for Italy there. And that's after they throw in a Rolling Thunder and have to stop. And they use the Seekers that doesn't really get that much information to work with in the end. Yeah, it's all off the back of Tag getting that kill.
And it's impressive to see the dynamics of Team Italy working around the freedom that both Tag and Kaden are taking on the map. It's insane. They're always on the back of their opponents. They will always bite you where it hurts. But Nick Sereno here could hurt with the Sheriff. No information, nobody to check that corner. That's Tag grabbing a first kill. And, well, Nick Sereno says that 1 kill will suffice, which is true.
Tag having to trade 2 of his teammates as well that were just taken out with the Sheriff.
Yep.
I mean, the guns are kind of left in positions where maybe if Spain tried to flank all the way around to A lobby, they could potentially pick them up. Because right now, it's just a Bladestorm and 2 Sheriffs that you're working with. And Italy feeling the pressure enough to feel that they have to make a play. They push CT, luckily run into Toki, but Fatinho's added another kill to the Sheriff. Leah is going to use this paranoid, which does connect onto both players. But literally, if you're nearsighted and you're 2 inches away from the player, they're going to be able to see you nice and easy.
Don't you feel at times that, you know, you're just watching a game, you're commentating a game, analyzing a game, whichever level it is, and this thought crosses your mind, you're like, I think it's better, the game would be better off if the 10 players just decide to play Sheriffs.
It feels like that, yeah. Like, maybe it's not enough respect going into anti-ecos.
Yeah.
They're just a little bit too loose with how they're playing it. But also, all of these players are crats. Aim is not an issue for any of them.
Yeah, if anything, I'm just, like, throwing this compliment away about how crazy all these players we've watched are with Sheriffs. I mean, that's just about it. That's just about it. But
I do have a question when the next eco comes up. So we'll save that for them, but like I feel like you've got Toki in this round with the operator. Bowen able to at least get one, but Edikos jumping down into vents is able to at least trade it out. And Leah wants to try and reclaim the space, does so, sees the spike, and Fatinho's not falling for the same trick the Tag pulled last time. They know he's there, he has a good idea that he's done damage to him, and even takes him out in the process.
Yep, and with Tag dissolving, as we'll only meet him on the next round, it's only Kaden and Mochi to make something out of this scenario. 4v2, they do have some abilities left. I mean, Flash still with Mochi. Kaden has all his armada here. A Paranoia could unlock things, make this round play in a more smooth way for the advantage of Team Italy. Okay, bait taken, I think. No? I think Fatinho has an idea. I think Fatinho knows that it might be coming from heaven.
Oh, he's
right,
seen it
now
now.
he certainly does.
Yeah, a bit of a maybe late reaction, just not expecting it to happen that way, but Nick Sereno is still on site. Caden's in the end game yet again, and Mochi is able to plant the spike before Nick Sereno could interrupt it. So this is a full game now. Nick Sereno holding on for as much as possible and at least gets the kill onto Caden and then Mochi to give Spain the fourth. The question I had for you before is, we throw some of these aimers on Sheriff into an ISO ultimate. From this tournament, who comes out on top?
Well, that would be an interesting idea if you think about it. A Sheriff-only tournament.
Like, would it be Valorant? Would it be Caden?
That's it. No, you just said the name.
Just Valorant?
Yeah.
I mean, probably.
If you were to give him a, is it called a slingshot?
Yeah, oh, you mean like a sort of pull back and fire?
Yeah.
Kind of weapon?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just give him a sling and that's it. Even if you give him peas, right? He'd be able to, find enough damage on you. That guy's insane. I mean, you would expect him to take a bit off the wall and actually throw it on someone, just like people did.
I mean, the near side, I don't think he realized just that he was getting gunned at there, but the showstopper doesn't even get fully taken out. The ultimate will still be used for Fatinho, but barely got even to finish the sentence before he was demolished. Tag's in a really good spot on this lurk, having mid-control, takes out one. Nick Sereno, maybe continuing through that route, has to be very careful now. And Toki has the operator, probably best to save at this point, considering how dire the money is looking for Spain. It seems that every time that Spain have a good moment, Italy respond with a strong round. But there is still a chance here now without Neural Theft being dedicated.
Yep. And we're talking about potentially saving that operator. Toki seeing hope. After the last kill coming from Nick Sereno, 3v2 is feasible, but the clock is ticking down, and they have to act quickly and swiftly. That's a kill. That's a second for Nick Sereno. The same action.
No time,
a triple
surely.
to complete the collection, but Caden, the gatekeeper, disposed of his opponent, and even if he didn't, as you just said, Ryan, no time for the defuse. But oh my god, that's food for nightmare.
Yeah, Nick Sereno's having some good moments. We finally do see Caden win in a clutch. It feels like he's always been in these kind of situations, not had enough about him to win these through. But the time was the main thing that was really coming to fruition there for Italy. And like I said, it sort of feels like I got very confused there, and I was like, Bi-phase is still going on with the audio. But like Italy instantly respond when Spain get around. Like Spain aren't able to drum up anything together at all, and their money's really rough going into round 11, and they might have to eco going into round 12 too to scramble something together, but they still have that operator. It's up towards A ramp. It hasn't spotted anything, and now Turkey's trying to position just in case Italy go for their really default play of going through mid and up through vents alongside tank.
Yeah, and you know, I'm wondering because Team Spain has been extremely successful with their aggressive plays, right? We see them do that a lot. And, well, speaking of which, look at Lear. She's just positioned in a way to cut any sort of approach towards the side. But I think that Team Italy knows that something might be up. Face check, drive from Caden. You know, someone is all the way up. They could open up an opportunity for B to make things happen. An initial smoke then, and Italy just completely withdrawing from this position after dragging the attention of full praise towards side B. And it's only Nixerino left to fend for himself. A hero for the last 2 rounds, but will he be enough to defend this position? And a weird run for the 2 ciphers inside of that cage, with Tak coming on top and Vitinho trying to
Vitinho
with a beautiful double.
And he's able to do so much with so little. And Mochi tries to go for more and ends up getting traded out by Toki. Caden, again in a 1 versus 2. He always finds himself in these situations, but they've just not been going well this time. He tries to take the fight. He still has time to plan. Toki's just trying to put this off as much as possible, but it still almost goes down in the end. It has been scrappy to say the very least, but Vitinho and Toki both having great moments. The double duelists keeping Spain pretty even on score.
You know, the moment Tak got that kill, one would think, all right, that's a safe plan. That's Italy just wrapping things up this round. But no, just you would be looking at the kill feed. You'd be thinking, okay, excellent trades happening. But it's just Caden forcing his way around. It was just Caden, Bippo, Edu, Mochi just weren't successful in, you know, bringing things to a close. And I don't know. This seems like a round that slipped from the hand of Spain. An excellent and great effort from Team Spain, really.
Yeah, time has been more of a pain for Italy to be dealing with these past couple of rounds. They're leaving it very late in the day to get these spikes planted, and it seems that Spain's adjustment is to, okay, if they're going to take it and be late, we're going to be as disruptive as possible whilst that plant tries to go in, because we can win the round based off the back of that. So Italy, I like this timeout, really. Like going into the half with potentially the lead here would be big, because this was the strong side for Italy. Their defense was very rough against France. They tried to take fights and France just sort of battered them. They just went through them in a lot of cases. And Caden especially was really good on the attack side against France. Then on the defense, just kept getting traded out. So Spain are in a really good position here to just keep this ball rolling for them.
And with Spain playing usually a very slow start of the round, Italy will find themselves, if they maintain the same play style on the defense, to be sort of flying on a coin flip, right?
Yeah.
It would really depend a lot on timings, on positioning. Is there anybody expecting me to peek from here? And so on and so on. I don't think you can risk it at this stage. There's too much to be lost on the scale of causality in here, and that's an initial flash. Bippo grabbing that initial information. Nobody to be checking those boxes. And Toki delivering with a kill on Bippo. Things are looking dire already for Team Italy, who are making a quick run towards side, towards mid. Wait, what are they trying to do in here? Wait, are they taking heaven?
Managing to.
Okay, but
And actually, Spain are rotating frantically over towards A.
Oh, but look at the spike.
Yeah, they're trying to make it work, but Spain are at least aware that this is the kind of play that Italy have been consistently making. So Nick Serena's in a good spot to keep an eye on ramp, and you've just got Vitinho playing off the back of that.
It makes absolute sense if you're bamboozled as a defender right now, especially if the spikes makes it to the side, but decision in here to take heaven, and that's Caden flying away with a second kill, but losing his life to Warwin, and now no time left, 10 seconds. No time for regret as the spike touches the ground and, well, prepare for the retake as it's a 3v2. The 3 Spanish players alive. It might get underestimated, but it's Stocky locking the kill on Mochi. And Edu goes? Edu goes!
Oh,
No way! I'm sorry, with all due respect, no, you wouldn't expect this. No way, Edu goes!
oh,
What
look at
the fuck?
Lucas. Look at Lucas Rowe. He looks so mad. Oh, I live for this. I'm sorry, Lucas, but
has to be.
seeing coaches react like that give me, like, it pumps the blood in my veins, that's for sure. But, like, yeah, it's the IGL as well. Like, Edukos has been the engine that's kept this team together. Not really had that many individual moments in the server. Comes out with something like that. And that could be really the nail in the coffin for Spain's chances to make the semi-finals. And Italy, well, if they win this pistol, they can really keep the pain coming.
Ballistic round from Edukos. Ballistic. Wow, okay. No, I seriously didn't expect that. Like, you have the info on the player. He got himself a kill already, so the clutch was more of a 1v3 rather than anything else. But right, that's part of the past. We focus
Flash
on
is
what's
good.
going on right now. Yep, Italy are trying to hold their grounds, but they clearly know what's about to happen. Spain are a little bit too honest when it comes to executing. They're extremely committed to one target at a time.
Machi actually had the regrowth. She only had one flash and bought the heal, and she's the first player to go down. She was facing aggressively, so a little bit odd, I suppose, from the game plan for Italy there, all things considered. Nick Sereno is still continuing this on as a 4 versus 3, and Caden trying his best to sneak in through elbow. Was hoping for one and has managed to run into multiple. And Spain at least get both of these pistols. They at least start off these halves in the right way. And this is where Italy definitely started to falter again, like I mentioned on this map beforehand. There has to be a better performance here, I think, out of them. Otherwise, I think Vitinho especially could just run away with this.
Yeah, Vitinho especially has been really good this game. I think this is the best performance he had in terms of not just skill but also impact. Nick Sereno had amazing moments as well. He has been fulfilling his duty to the best possible way. That's what you'd expect from a Cypher, right? VALORANT maybe a little bit dim compared to before, but that's due to the nature of his job in this map, I suppose. So
Yeah,
overall, yeah.
You can't all have Edukos moments like we've just seen.
Yeah, clearly. And, well, Caden forfeited for this round while Taki just, just getting rid of everyone inside. I do not think that Italy would hold the candle in this round. Maybe a kill. That's Moshi almost making it a second, but out of bullets. And, okay, well, there's a difference between being optimistic and being deluded, because a Marshall in 1v4, come on, you're not gonna tell me. That's already a bad hit, 13 hit points left on Edukos, and making a run for it, maybe? No.
No point in saving. Just trying to adjust the angle, but I think Spain have read it pretty well. I mean, you compare that round after the pistol, the eco that Italy just had, this one, to the one that they had in the first half. Well, like Caden almost clutches it out. It's like a stark difference. That wasn't really close at all for Italy to be potentially doing some damage there. And now a bonus for Spain is in pretty good hands overall. And Italy, half armor on a lot of their players. Not really any ultimates online. I'm kind of concerned about this round for Italy. I want to see something a little bit more cohesive. Otherwise, it could be the beginning of the end.
Yeah, I mean, Italy will probably try to rely on Caden to make those moves, right? Try to eat up some areas, trying to deny space for Team Spain. Because getting extremely comfortable for those last 3 rounds, right? They're just going wherever they want. They're not getting contested anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
I mean,
Caden... Yeah?
I was just going to say that was the story against France too. France could kind of just go anywhere that they wanted at a point.
Mid is completely forfeited. Completely. I mean, you're trying to defend mid from heaven, and then you hear steps, and then you back off towards stairs, or maybe you fall down to side, and then you die, and it's too late to, save the situation. That's exactly what's happening with Edukos. But the Samurai Moshi stands up to VALORANT.
He missed.
But doesn't miss his shots. An interesting kill in here with a pad being used. Oh well, no plans for the time being as Team Italy is crumbling its players to try to retake the side. And Caden, look, I think I was right by calling him a gatekeeper.
Yeah, I mean, the spider senses were tingling. He's managed to lurk his way back out into mid. So 3 versus 2, still in a good position for Spain, especially when you consider who's still alive. The only problem is Vitinha down to 16 HP. There's 1 flash, 1 smoke available for Italy on this retake. And Toki has it all to do on their own now. Pushes up to CT and catches Edukos, but Caden's the one that gets all 3 kills. Really, all of those fights that they take individually could have gone very, very wrong for Italy. But Caden just doesn't seem to lose those. You look at it, though, for Spain, though, it was a bonus. You've planted and you've killed 3 of their players. So, good bonus, all things considered.
Yeah, and I think Lear could have made the difference in here. Like, grabbing that kill on Caden would have just sealed things off for Team Spain. I mean, you know, it's not that often that you see a missed paranoia with a free gift going your way. But the reading capabilities of Caden in here, his instincts were just on point, really. An impressive player. Impressive so far. 20 kills to his name, by the way. 2010. His KD is 2.0.
Yeah, he's been...
I mean, his KD is 2.0.
As an Omen, it's pretty impressive. And just kind of like you said, he's able to always just get out of a tricky position if he's backed into a corner, which is everything you'd want to see out of your Omen player because there's so many bits of utility to do it.
Yep.
But now this is the real decide around, I think. Like Italy up against this full buy, the economy on both sides will deplete completely if they lose this round. Italy have the lead. There's a neural theft handy to them and almost a from the shadows. And no ultimates other than the Blade Storm in hands for Toki. The majority at least of the players from Spain are going to be playing into mid. And Nick Sereno trying to do his best tag impression by lurking up to A. It's got the attention of 3 Italian players. They're actually going to try and push up ramp to clear this, and they do.
Okay, and things are getting a little bit dicey with 3 players coming from... They kind of know what to expect, at least a Bippo in that position, but Team Italy right now just a little bit confused as to what's happening, going back to an almost default position. And, well, while the defensive scales turn towards side B, that's when Spain is deciding to head towards B. And now, with a in front of them,
Mochi.
It's going to get complicated. This is a tough one.
Mochi needs to go careful here, trying to play in from heaven.
Oh, no!
Did she get the regrowth out? Wasn't even a flash that she was ready to throw. I think she misclicked there a little bit. But Edukos trying to disrupt the spike plan. It seemed that Italy had everything in place there. And as soon as Espanyol turn up the heat, Italy kind of fall to the wayside. Still doable now. Tag especially has made this very doable. The Neural Thefts going to be used to get some information on these last 2 attackers. One at least has been found. Trying to get into the face and fight. This is Vitinho. And Tag actually pulls this through. It was effectively a 4 versus 1. And Italy, it seems that every player on this roster is having their moments to keep Italy in this.
All right, that's Tag. Earlier it was Edukos and Caden, who is next for Team Italy. Now, seriously, this is a team of wonders, you know. I don't know, just the Italian way, right? In terms of style points, I don't think they're disappointing at all. But then again, a huge blunder from Mochi. I'd like to believe it was a click, an honest mistake, but fine. Italy would take that point, and just when Spain looked like they were about to start steamrolling on that round, that must be heartbreaking.
I mean, I'm surprised that Lucas hasn't called a timeout after that one. Spain forced to an eco. I mean, Tag just got the best out of his utility. Neural Theft got everything he needed, and Spain just trying to shut things down as much as he possibly could. Wasn't able to do all that much. But an eco. Rounds that we've seen Spain win before, and really Italy are known to fall to these kind of positions. So I'm still a little bit antsy, especially with Caden paranoia in hand, one little over peak, and he's provided Toki an opportunity with a Blade Storm.
And that's Vitinho already inside with a delayed flash that would permit Mochi to grab a double. Is not aware enough of the presence of Warwind. Capitalize on that kill. I mean, so far, mathematically speaking, on a 4v2 with the current buys, it's edge, but you never know with Nick Sereno lurking. Able perhaps to find the back of 2 players. with a spike in that position.
You hear him at least now. Yeah, good clearance, I think, from Italy. Really, it's just the fact of only losing one player much here, especially with that execute attempted from Spain. Weren't really able to get much out of there. Now they have a showstopper to full by coming in for Coutinho, and yeah, well, Mucci just has to have a bit of a flamboyant moment as well, because everybody's having him on Italy.
Yeah, and a bit of wishful thinking from me too, you know. I think Nick Serino just stepped at the wrong moment, which attracted attention on his position, but then again, a second timeout from Team Spain, and that's the timeout that they really need, all right? A hard break, not on the previous round, on the one before it, that kind of whittled down their chances of survival in this race. Again, just as a reminder, the most important game so far in the Spike Nation. And again, this is the only game where two teams were battling for their destiny of making it to the finals or not. So just imagine the sheer amount of pressure, especially for Spain.
I mean, I'm seeing Mixwell is currently streaming to 16,000 people for this watch party of his. And also this event, the finals in December, are going to be in Spain. You want your Spanish team to be attending the event in Spain. Like, missing out, especially with this roster, especially with the expectations and hype around them, is frankly unacceptable, I kind of feel. Like, I think Spain should be there, so missing out is a huge disservice to them, the country, the community, but that's so much pressure to put on them. Italy, they're just showing up. Like, they just want to cause as much chaos as possible and get people to really take their region and country seriously. Saying that, though, Italy wanted to be aggressive to try and push up, disrupt whatever timeout that Lucas Rojo just called. And Toki's there, ready and waiting, finds that first kill.
Yep, and again, we already discussed the fact that Spain are a little bit slow at the beginning of the round. You know, hunting them like that with not enough preparation is bound to have such a result. Edukos ending as a victim of that, and somehow Leia correcting her aim and gonna kill on Bippo and Skyden to correct that mistake. Vitinho pushing in, knows exactly where Caden is, and from the shadow committed towards defender's spawn. He's like, get me out of here. He knew that it was bad.
He just gets out of every dangerous situation.
But I mean, commended for that move.
Man's a magician, just escaping these, like, tanks of sharks he's able to get out of, really. Like, Italy now, 3 versus 4 retake. It's still hard to do, but Tag's still alive. That's all it needs. He is taken down eventually, though. But Caden, a 1 versus 2. How many times have we gone through this? But how many times this map has Caden lost him? He can't quite connect that magic, and it does give Spain a way back into this one, 8-10.
All right, and there's still the Spanish team still can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It is within reach. After all, the gap is only 2 points, separating them from Team Italy. Now that their economy has been revigorated, they shall be able to get the buy that they need, and I think that this reaction just shows what invaluable it is. Now,
please keep the coach cams coming for moments like that.
Yeah. We definitely need that, but clearly do not need Caden to peek that way, Lear. Kill that could cost too much for Spain at this stage.
Bippo in a good position, gets the kill onto the lurking Nick Serino. Vitinho was the one to open up the B site last time, but he doesn't have the ultimate here. Clearing that angle has allowed Caden an easy fight onto Vorwin, but the trades have come through, and Tag actually has control over the spike in heaven. This is where his 4K started around a couple of rounds ago, and the nade actually takes out Toki. Vitinho, 1 versus 3. Anakin Skywalker on the low ground. The spike is on the high, and there's 3 players watching across this. If he pulls this off, I don't know how he manages it. He tries to grab it, but he can't quite get there. He just has to go around, but that's being watched as well.
You'd expect him to put his nimble fingers at use in here, but quite long enough to reach for the spike. And, well, people making quick work of him. A very awkward situation, if you think about it. Like, he just took control of Heaven, And like, oh god, that's the site opening up, and Kaden is dead, and you're like, yep, Kaden is dead. No one left to defend on the site, and then somehow Tag appears again behind you and just denies the spike from being picked up. Like, that was it. That's what killed the round. The moment Tag appeared on Heaven.
All right, business end of this map. And Spain crawling behind a little bit on an eco other than the main rifle that is in the hands of Nixerino. They were going to be over towards A. The camera's been broken pretty much instantly. I think by the operator of Bippo that was over towards A. And these pistols heading towards mid. Mochi needs to be careful here. This has been a fight that Spain has been taking consistently and also winning. Oh, and they've done it again.
There we go. Sheriff Demons at play once again, and it's Kaden left to fend for himself alone, stuck in this side. Can see one player, but not fast enough to turn around and revert the situation. Scratching Tag for 5 hit points. That wasn't enough to dispose of him, and Leo finding a Guardian to end things, and it's only Bippo left with an operator. Sulking on the other side of the map, dreaming of a possibility for the next round to turn things around. And I mean, I think things happened way too fast. And it's just insane to me how much value the players can draw from that Sheriff, really. It's like, it's almost 100% win for a duel if you're watching someone with a Sheriff.
Yeah. It just... This is a rough old round to lose if you're Italy. Like, surely there's an element of, like, you could pinpoint it down to this. If Italy does end up losing this map and not making it to the semi-finals of Spike Nations, I feel you could pin so much onto this round in particular. Like, you go up against an eco and you just let Spain kind of do what they want. Like, the disrespect as well, like in Heaven. Mochi's died here a few times now, and I would have thought that she'd give a little bit of space and respect to these guys on Spain, because it's so easy for them to snowball like this. Toki gets the Bladestorm online, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and Italy kind of rushed out the retake attempt of the site. I mean, they lost 2 players right there without even a chance to fight back. They could have organized this in a better way, but again, what's done is done. We're moving to 11-9. Look at the economy of Team Italy, it's in a disastrous state, and if Spain would win this round, they could grant themselves a lifeline. But I do not believe that Team Italy will let them go that easily. Nixerino begs to differ, and that's the Coloneticos, but look at Kaden already near, but we'll lose this duel. You did it one too many times, Kaden.
Yeah, Coutinho is well aware of this and knows exactly how to punish it too. Like, Italy getting a little bit too high tempo, I think. They're getting so close to match point at the very least, but now I think they're starting to squander their chances. Tag again goes roaming, at least able to get one, but Spain have been played so close together that they're able to trade out these kills. Just up to Bippo, he's over on the A site alone. And look at the money on the dead players of Team Italy. 100 credits, 0, 800, 300. They'd have to save after this. Just looking very likely that Spain are going to equal the score 11-11. Unless Italy come out with an insane 50 after this.
Well, all cards are on the table, and of course, your suggestion should not be discarded at all. We've seen this one too many times. But again, not trying to jinx it or anything. Taking a look at how the game has shaped up for Team Spain, we can clearly see and confirm that this absence on side B, this lack of guard, this lack of defensive presence on mid is just hurting Italy so much, right? So initially that first kill happening right allowed Spain to take control all over the map. They could just rotate back and forth in between A and B, and there's nothing much you can do on your as a member of the Italian team. It just opened up so many windows, and that forces players like the case of Tag to get out of position to try to get any sort of information. Okay, he got himself a kill, but exposed himself to 3 players pushing him in that position. Nothing much you can do about it.
An important timeout for Italy to be taking. Just to maybe calm the nerves a little bit. It's easy to say that because this is like a show match of sorts. It's still a prize pool for these players. It's a mix of VCT, VCL, and Game Changers talents. And it is just, you know, for fun, ideally. Representing your country, doing the best that you can. Nothing too high stakes is on this tournament. But yet again, try telling the players that when you're in a series this deep, and it's the difference between making this tournament into the top 4 and bombing out entirely. For Italy, it's just proving that they are as good as the teams around them, if not better in some cases. And for Spain, well, it's all of the expectations in the world. It's a huge fan base. It's a huge community that very least expect their team to be making top 4. And at least there's been a little bit of a fight back here. It really is just a test of Italy's temperament. Like, do they have enough about them to seal this one out? Because they've been good, but being good doesn't win you maps.
Exactly. Showing potential does not. Getting the spike, getting a 5-man wipeout, or just defusing the spike is what grants you points to win the game. And for that, you would need nerves of steel, especially under the guise of the current way this round has been played and this game has been played. Now Paranoia keeps Tag away from creating any sort of harm on the Spanish squad, and, well, Nixerino holding his position, playing the game of Caden. Game he knows a little bit too well. Will he check? Well, no. Pays the price dearly in here. 2 players left on the Italian squad trying to muster whatever they can to hurt Team Spain as much as possible.
I mean, with the buy that Italy have, the expectations weren't really high here at all, but Bippo's at least able to do some forms of damage. Really, the economy isn't the problem here for Spain. They're going to be fine for rounds 22 and 23 if we see them. But they just have to really get things across the line. It's also like what Ultimate's been farmed up, because Bippo's good to go with the Showstopper. Edukos has the Rolling Thunder. They should be enough to get them onto match point. But it's been all Spain the last few rounds.
Yeah, it's been all Spain. And again, I think Italy needs to re-review their defensive lines in here. Now they'll be completely counting on Edukos to hold mid. He's got the abilities, he's got the Rolling Thunder in here, could create so much impact from this position. And for once, Team Spain in here just discards mid from their plans. They'll be relying on Nixerino as a lurker. Oh, well, okay, change of plan, because then it was mid. And what's impressive in here is that the way Team Spain is playing is confusing for Team Italy. Like, there's no way you can pin a read on whatever they're doing. And look, Edukos is completely leaving his position and doing the long rotation towards defender spawn, but the sound cue here from Fitinio just reveals everything, just shows the plan that Team Spain has. And that's Caden appearing again from nowhere, grabbing a triple, being the savior of his team, and that's Fitinio with a double. This round is becoming extremely complicated as only Nixerino is left alive. With 2 players left, Tag and Pippo. Extremely feasible for Nixerino in here.
I mean, these are the moments that are really testing Italy. Drop isn't going to be heard. There's a chance that Nixerino could get this fight onto Tag, but nothing seems to be getting past him today. Italy, through thick and thin, are able to at least get onto match point. We haven't seen overtime at all in groups. This would be the perfect map for it, I think.
Yeah, and, well, overall, Italy in here were able to stand their ground. Again, one would imagine, right, if Team Spain were a little bit slower in pushing side B and gave enough time to 1 or 2 players to actually appear from... Remember that Edukos decided to take the long way out towards side B again. That would have compromised the players of side B into a crossfire that would have been very difficult to get out from. And now, no more room for dawning on the final round of this tournament. Does Spain have whatever it takes in order to bring us to an overtime, or will we be seeing them crashing out at this stage?
This has been a position where they've been able to get a lot of damage done. Muchie at least able to get 1 this time before she's traded. Caden now trying to retake B main with a Paranoia. Again, it just misses Leah, who tries to go into that fight. Caden's on such an aggressive angle that now it's a 4 versus 2. It's forcing Vitinho and Nick Sereno to go elsewhere. They've at least picked up the spike. The neural theft is going to show that they're pretty much surrounded towards B. They're still going to attempt it though. Maybe hoping that Italy would rotate over to A just based off of that information coming to fruition. Vitinho trying to see if there's anybody towards B main. Needs to isolate Caden, who still has it from the shadows. The Rolling Thunder allows the peek in from Caden. The ult missed Vitinho, so that's one player dealt with. 3 more to go. Spike is going to get planted into this corner. There is an aftershock to try and isolate this. The stun is going to connect onto the Cypher. It forces Vitinho to go in for this fight, and he can only do so much. Right to the end, 13-11 for Italy. They make the semi-finals. Team Spain and Spike Nations are out.
A very sad ending for Team Spain. And, I mean, if you think about it, the way the tournament started, right, with all those teams being hailed right and left, most of those teams, and I'm thinking about Germany and Spain, of course, just didn't get the opportunity to showcase what they were able to do. Extremely glad that we were able to see that today and yesterday. Immense talent coming, but again, as we discussed earlier, talent alone was not enough. Italy just played a more composed game. They had a clear idea of what they needed to do and hit when it mattered the most. Congratulations for Team Italy for making it through to the semi-finals, and hard luck for Team Spain, which, if I'm not mistaken, we'll be able to see anyways for a show match. Am I mistaken, Ryan?
Yeah, I think they're playing a show match against Germany, so at least there's something to bring the Spanish fan base in for the LAN event next month. But I think for Italy, it's just a good reminder of like what a region they have been. It's been a great addition because we've had the Italy VCL added into the VCT system this year, and it's grown phenomenally, and it's given these players a chance to shine. I think for Spain, it was a good improvement, all things considered. But like you said, the individual moments were all Italy's, and the Spain team are going to be disappointed with how much effort they put in, and it all sort of came to nothing. But we do have that interview. I'm curious of what the Italian play is going to be like after that. And of course, the analyst desk to see us out. Take it away, Pavlos and Hazza.
Muted. No, I'm so sorry. I was muted. I was saying. I can't help but feel for Spain there. There were so many moments where they won the early rounds of many games, and then Edikos came in, Caden came in, Tag came in to ruin their days, and it was inevitable that the morale dropped after those moments.
Yeah, it's a real shame that Spain aren't able to make it through after being left for dead. They couldn't complete the Italian job, but it's nice to see that they can sort of carry through this one, right? They put their name in bold. They're on the map now. There would have been critics of them having their own Challenger League, for example, saying, oh, maybe the talent in this region is underdeveloped. It doesn't warrant it. There's not the same kind of regional base. But this is case in point number one, and I've been thoroughly impressed with how they've performed throughout this tournament.
Yeah, they really have played really well. And I don't think it was only in this tournament that you'd see Italy stand out. You could also make the same case for Ascension, right? Desire actually being a lot more competitive than other people would have expected. And we're seeing that reflected in this tournament as well. There's definitely a lot of talent in Italy. And I'm glad we'll be able to see them represented into the semi-finals of Spike Nations. So yeah, let's break this down a little bit. It was a back and forth, a massive back and forth that was filled to the brim with 1v3s.
Yeah, this game went down to the wire. I mean, Ryan mentioning the overtimes at the end there, I don't know if that's cast a curse or not, but like he said, right, we've played 15 games throughout groups, and it's not gone out of regulation once. The closest we get is that 13-11 day number 1, UK versus Germany, map number 3, or game number 3, I should say. So yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but again, I think this is going to be the overarching theme of this tournament. Team play is important and will get you so far, and especially I think that is something we can pick apart from the Italian team, but you also have to look at the quality of your individuals, and there were plenty that you listed off there that stepped up in moment after moment, and you'll see that on the highlight package as well.
So when it comes to Spain, do you think they came in with the best performance that they've shown so far, or was it like an underperformance in regards to what we kind of thought was a resurgence this week?
It's tough to say because, of course, they got that first win that they needed against Germany, but Germany haven't exactly been tearing things up themselves, not to just get one more dig in before we finish the stream. But, you know, I think the quality was there. They slowly built up, and just when it looked like they were hitting that high point, Italy are able to show them a way. I'm thinking of like the Educos 1 versus 3 before the end of the half to deny a 6-6 and give them that lead, that buffer to really sit on. Just sort of moments like that were slipping away from them. And unfortunately enough for Fatinho, after that game against the UK, he was enjoying some fish and chips, but he won't be joining the UK players on the LAN stage this time.
Yeah, well, unfortunate in that regard. But I guess Italy can start thinking about what they're gonna do in Italy. Oh, in Spain, sorry. What they're gonna be doing in Spain. Yeah. It's just a short trip from Italy, but you know, it's still the Mediterranean, but there's a lot more that they can do there. You know, it's going to be a fun one for sure. They're going to be enjoying that one. Overall, we can see the final moments of this match here. It did end up quite abruptly with, again, Italy breaking the momentum that Spain had gathered up towards the end. Every time it seemed like Spain did try to gain momentum, Italy always had an answer. For this match in particular, there were many players that showed up. But for you, Hazza, what do you think? Who do you think deserves the MVP the most?
I think there are probably a couple of different players you could give it to, and one of them would be Fatinho, and I'm wondering whether he's done enough kills to basically get it here, because it's a little bit of a toss-up, right, towards the top end of the scoreboard and who actually ends up getting it. He's another player that we spoke about as well, who, you know, over the last couple of play days has come to be that player that we expected of him, but we'll just have to see when the MVP comes up who it's actually going to land on. And yeah, it does go to the Italian side instead, also putting up some serious numbers. Caden, the Omen, again impressing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it did all start from Edicos, right? The clutches, but Caden definitely stayed consistent throughout the game, right? He was always there when fragging was required. He was always there to trade out when he was needed, and rightly so. With 30 kills, 12 assists, and 18 deaths by the end, an impressive performance nets him the MVP.
Yeah, I'm just looking across the last couple of games that he's played here as well. It was 25 against France, 19 against Turkey, going positive in pretty much every official that he's played so far. Yeah, a real statement piece from him, and as part of the Desire core, someone to be looking out for and a team to be looking out for coming into Challenges 2024. But of course, before we go that far, we have an interview prepared for you, and it is none other than the aforementioned Educos, I believe, to be taking it. Educos, congratulations on the win first and foremost.
I don't think he's quite in our Discord.
He's not.
There we go. Okay.
It should be now. Educos, congratulations on the win, first and foremost.
Hello. Thank you very much, guys. Was a fun match, a tense match actually, but yeah.
So I just want to ask you, right? I think you were the first player to actually have the insane clutches that game, right? That 1v3 in the middle of it. In that moment, while I was watching it, I was like, oh no, here it goes. Spain are getting knocked out, aren't they? What was going through your head in that moment after that clutch?
Oh, was the round where I ulted Heaven, I think, and I was with Mochi. I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna try. I'm here. I'm gonna try to clutch it. I tried to get the first position. The enemy Sky gave me the kill, and from there on was, I mean, I just flick. Was just mechanically. I was lucky.
You were just better, bro. You were just better.
I mean, I didn't do anything. I was just stunning, flashing, aftershocking. I was holding my utilities all the game. But yeah, that was a good clutch at least.
Look, you've made the live stage now. You can be as humble or as boastful as you want. But coming into this sort of latter stages of this game, we saw it against Germany as well. They won the first 4 rounds of the second half in that one. This one as well, trying to close it out on defense. What is it that you guys talk about? How exactly is it that you've been able to close out 2 games from your defender's side in a comfortable enough fashion? Is there anything to that, perhaps?
I mean, I think we did some mistakes in defense on the rotation from my side, even on the info. I mean, we was kind of reading them pretty well, but we was doing like the small mistakes on the small part of the round. And I mean, they punished us like 2-3 rounds in a row. and that's why we kind of closed the gap between between us, no? But it was a close game. They played really well, and was kind of hard. I mean, it was kind of hard for me as well because I never played this comp. I'm used to Viper comp meta, but it was fun. Yeah.
Give us the rundown in regards to player chemistry, right? Because obviously you coming from Clash, you played against Cradle and Tag as well in the under the Xayah team this year in its entirety. How is it now feeling to be in a team with these players you've been competing against this entire year?
I mean, they are insane. I think like Kaiden, but even Tag, they are the best Italian players in Italy. And for the most part of Split, I mean, almost completely he called because, like I said, I was not used to this kind of comp with Cypher Breach. And I mean, they have a lot of experience and they show up every time. I mean, Kaiden dropped like 30 kills, no, this game. So, I mean, the stats are talking, so I don't have to say anything.
Yeah. To now have qualified for the live stage, I want to ask you, what does this mean to you personally, and to have done it representing Italy as a region as well? Because the last time I spoke to you, it was coming out of that win. You were in high spirits, but there was still a bit of uncertainty. Now that you've made it, what are your thoughts and feelings?
I mean, I think if we work, I think we can do pretty great. I mean, I feel like every player in this team is really great. And if we work a little bit more together, we're gonna build that chemistry that's gonna help us to beat like all the teams. I think. I think we can win like versus everyone. I mean, every team is really strong, but we can beat them. That's for sure.
I love the words of confidence here, Edikos. Thank you very much, and see you in Spain.
See you. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Again, very lucky with the interviews. What a lovely guy, Edikos, making his presence on the broadcast, but also made quite the presence on the game itself, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's have a look at the standings here, Haz. I want to see how things have shaped up. We already kind of know what's happened, but give us the rundown.
Yeah, well, from top to bottom, Turkey 5-0, flawless from them so far. The only stain on the record of France comes at the hands of them exactly. Middle of the pack, UK and Italy, who just by the skin of their teeth have managed to haul it over the line against Spain, who many had as the walking dead, but now finally put to rest ahead of that homecoming in GamerG 2023, of course. And then, yeah, Germany winless at the end. That is your rundown. And here is your bracket for the finals, Pavlos.
Whoop, whoop. Indeed it is. Team France versus Team UK to be the first match to be played. Then Team Turkey versus Team Italy. This all, of course, comes in a month's time. And this month cannot finish sooner. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this so much. Of course, alongside these two matches, there is going to be a show match. So with the teams that weren't quite able to make it, which is Spain and Germany, but still the semi-final bracket is looking quite impressive so far.
Yeah, that it is. The action will resume on the 16th of December, but before then, get your tickets for GamerG, right? Go there, show your support, whether your nation is playing or if they're one in the show match as well. Definitely a spectacle to behold, and one that I'm thoroughly looking forward to. As well, some best of threes, Pavlos, digging our teeth into that deeper pool. Perhaps a bit of time now in the next month or so for these teams to add some tactical depth to their game. I know that not really any of them have been scrimming except for Spain, and now they're gone, of course. There's time to add method to the madness.
Look, I was going to say just now, if there's any salty Spanish fan left in chat, know this. If there was a best of three format, you had a chance. So, best of ones, unfortunately, are the only games that Spain will be playing as best of threes. Yes, will be coming into the semi-finals. But before we finish this entire broadcast, I would love to thank Alienware and Intel, our sponsors and partners of this tournament, making it all possible, of course. And Haz, I'd like to thank you for joining me along with the rest of the talent, Ryan and Moon. We've all been rotating around Analyst Desk and Cast. as well as the behind-the-scenes production, making it all work, and, you know, all the other people that you don't really see, your admins, your observers, everyone doing a grand job. Thank you, everybody, for watching as well. You guys are the MVPs. If it wasn't for you, this entire tournament, again, wouldn't happen. So thank you, and make sure you tune in a month's time for Gamergy, where the semi-finals of Spike Nations will take place. See you very soon, everybody. Make sure you do tune when the time comes.
Celebrate, celebration, celebrate, 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 celebration, celebrate. Hey, what's your style? What you drinking? What's your vibe? I've been feeling rather sad in the corner of my class. Boy, what's your style? What you drinking? What's your vibe? I've been feeling rather sad. Oh yeah. Don't be mean. You're here all alone and you know it. Hang on, 'cause we're gonna turn it up. Don't you see? I'm here all alone and I like it. Baby, don't please try to fight it. Pour it up with the blue champagne, blue champagne, blue champagne. Let's celebrate with the blue champagne, blue champagne. All my feelings went away in a sip of all the colors. Celebrate with the blue champagne, blue champagne. I'm in Mexico, you see, and no way I'm feeling bueno. Got a hot streak on my E, sweating worse than a volcano. I'm only starting the week, don't try to take this from me. I'm on a roll, come here and work it with me. Come here and work it with me. Don't you see? I'm here all alone and I like it. Baby, don't please try to fight it. Pour it up with the blue champagne, blue champagne, blue champagne. Let's celebrate with the blue champagne, blue champagne. All my feelings went away in a sip of all the colors. Celebrate with the blue champagne, blue champagne. Oh, how far can we go? Oh, how far can we go? Put your body on the floor, show how far we can go. Oh, how far can we go? Oh, how far can we go? Put your body on the floor. Celebrate with the blue champagne. Celebrate, celebration, celebrate, 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 celebration, celebrate. Celebrate, celebration, celebrate, 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 celebration, celebrate. Hey, what's your style? What you drinking? What's your vibe? I've been feeling rather sad in the corner of my class. Boy, what's your style? What you drinking? What's your vibe? I've been feeling rather sad. Oh yeah. Pouring up with the blue champagne, blue champagne, blue champagne.